Hello. We're live. Chat's working. Mic is on. How's everybody doing? Well, I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, no, the title's not an exaggeration or, a joke. I'm not feeling super great today, but that's okay. That's just how it goes sometimes. I don't know if it's because it's cold outside or some sort of weird allergy. Honestly, the temperature has been doing really, really, really weird things where I am here in North Carolina. So that could be part of it as well. I struggle immensely when it comes to temperature, just doing whiplash stuff. And it was below freezing today, but a couple days ago, I think it was above 70 or something like that. And I'm truly, truly under the weather, but I'm going to be doing my best regardless. I'm not the only person who has to, show up and rock out even when you're a little bit under the weather. Someone said it just snowed for me in Southern Virginia. One of my friends who lives in New York sent me pictures of what that looked like. And I was like, okay, at least it's not that cold. At least it's not that cold. That's insane. Someone said I needed this stream. All the gambling prediction stuff is pissing me off. Oh, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place. I'm about to drag just the absolute hell out of it. Yeah, no, I can't believe this is where we're at. And if you're new to the stream, hi, welcome. Usually I'm a little bit more energetic. I'm just feeling a little bit poorly. But the first 30 minutes or so is usually just exactly what you're getting now, a yap session as I let people kind of stream in. And then around the 30-minute mark, that's when we'll go ahead and get into today's topic, which happens to be prediction markets, gambling, celebrity endorsements, all of this stuff. Some of this stuff is not very new. I think we've all been hearing about the rise of gambling for literally years now, but specifically I'm watching prediction markets turn into something that is just so dystopian. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about that. But yeah, that's essentially all I've got. And then after that, we'll just chill a little bit. Hopefully. Someone said I sound good though. Thank you. Yeah, I took something earlier to feel better. So hopefully that kicks in. And after I do today's topic, I'm feeling better. But if not, I don't know. We might just have to be low power mode, low key, low power mode. But yeah, I'll be fine. Sometimes I'm so done with sports gambling. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that as well. You're not the only one. According to Pew Research, everybody is kind of over this now. Public sentiment is going down, so the data will back you up. Everybody is quite tired of this for real. Someone said drink tea with honey. I probably will. Someone said the Super Bowl had so many gambling ads. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that too. Yeah, it's an obvious topic today, nothing super complex, but oh, speaking of that, what did y'all think of yesterday's video? That was the first video that I recorded without y'all in a while. Did you enjoy it? I still did my best. I thought of all of you. I missed having my live chat there, but I just didn't have time. It happened so quickly, and I was like, nah, I got to put this video out right now, man. But I definitely, I was really proud of that video actually, because people were being awful everywhere. And I wanted to create a space where people could not be awful. People were saying it was great. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, no, I was really, really, really happy with how that turned out, because I didn't get too, some side love to check on the video. Thank you. So I understand why you didn't do it live. Yeah, I didn't get too into it in that video, but also as somebody with a disability as well. I didn't want to frame myself too hard, but I was just there's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way, man. This is terrible. But yeah, that's why I really tried to say what was really on my mind, regardless of how people responded or did not respond to it. But yeah, it was, oh my god, that was so bad. So two things can be true at once. Yeah, no, and often are. They typically are multiple things true at once. So the internet has no nuance. Yeah, no, it's Lord Almighty, so bad. Reading. Someone said I'm part of your moral compass. Oh, hopefully just a small part. I definitely try my best. I don't get everything right. But you know what helps me a lot though? And I know not every commentary creator does this. I can tell from some of y'all's videos. I double check. I double checked with people in my life before putting this video out. I had my take on the situation, right? And then I reached out to some of my friends. I'm like, oh, hey, you actually have, this form of disability that, typically requires accommodations. What do you think about some of the points I'm making in this video? How do you feel about this? And then I get feedback there. Or I reach out to a fellow friend and I'm like, oh, hey, you're a black person like me. You have a separate opinion and a different brain. What do you think about some of the points I'm making in this video? And then I get feedback on that. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think about it that way. And then I use that to double down on how I feel. You know what I mean? And then, so yeah, I wasn't super worried about like, oh, this is going to wind up pissing off like 50% of people. Because I really, really, really try to like stay grounded as somebody spreading opinions on the internet. You wind up with these awful takes when you don't check with anybody and you just essentially assume like, oh yeah, whatever I believe must be right because I have an audience. That's just, you're gonna put your foot in your mouth eventually. It's not good, man. It's not good. Some creators should probably do that more. Probably. You got to make sure you're not surrounded by yes people. I think the thing with me is that my friends were my friends when I had a small tiny channel at 20,000 subscribers, which I consider to be small now. So it doesn't matter how many subscribers I have now. My friends they'll be mean. They'll be like, nah, this is terrible. You need to change that. Or like, what? Don't do that. And I'll be like, oh, you're right. I shouldn't do that. I'm very glad I'm not surrounded by people who saw that I had any sort of social clout or whatever, and they're then offering me feedback, because those are the kinds of people who are gonna say like, oh no, this is amazing, D'Angelo, yes, publish that, yes, and it's like, man, shut up. I would rather somebody say, bro, this is stupid, and I would like, you know what, that was stupid, what was I thinking? It helps me much better. Some say criticism is needed. Yeah, no, I don't want or need yes people in my life, man. It's not useful. Someone said you actually have research and not speak without knowing. Well, that's the thing that so many people struggle with, where whatever their first reaction to something is, they solidify that crystallizes, and then every bit of information that they get after this, they stand in opposition to it if it contradicts whatever their first thought was, their uninformed thought on things. And it makes for really, really, really frustrating times online, just trying to like explain things to people, and they're super resistant to it. But yeah, like I recognized I didn't know. I'm sorry if this sounds like really, really insanely out of touch or whatever, but like I didn't know what coprolalia was. I didn't know what that was. I had heard of Tourette's, but actually I found out I was really deeply misinformed about it. I thought that it manifested similarly for everybody, and that like vocal tics would always be a part of it. I think a lot of people conflate coprolalia with Tourette's, or I know I for sure did. So before I did the video, instead of just going off of that, I had to take a second and be like, okay, what happened here? You know what I mean? What does this mean, to make sure that I'm not spreading misinformation? Because it's okay not to know everything, but then again, like if I don't know everything and I say things that are wrong, and then it's this big video and no one really can correct me, it's just, the misinformation is a mess. Some say I found out through your video. Yeah, some say I didn't know the name, I knew the concept, but I didn't know the different types either. Yeah, I was so deeply misinformed on that, but I'm glad I was able to learn just from creators who have Tourette's and or coprolalia explaining it, and I was like, oh cool, yeah, that's fire. Like, well, fire, you know what I mean? I think like learning new things and changing your opinion is a good thing. I don't know why people see it as some sort of moral failure. Like, I am fine being wrong. I would rather be wrong about something and learn and grow than like assume that I'm right about everything, because it doesn't hurt me to be like, oh, I didn't know that, I was wrong, thank you for telling me. Like, but you would genuinely think it kills people. Someone said, no, it's okay. A lot of people's intros to Copper Lilia was South Park. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's not the best platform for any sort of depiction of that. Someone said, those creators you showed seemed like they had good knowledge and perspective on the topic. Yeah, I love me finding just like other people who have other perspectives. And it's just so useful. Like, I don't know, man. You can't know everything. But the thing about the internet is like, you can't know everything, though. That's the weirdest thing. We never lived in an era where I actually could find marginalized voices very easily. Do you know how difficult it would have been in a different decade to be like, what does somebody who actually does sit at the intersection of this form of ableism and this form of racism, what do they think? What are their thoughts? How would I have done that? So we live in a really, really cool really cool era where I love how many people are posting online. And when I think about it that way, I get happy. And I'm like, yay, that's a good thing. And then I think about, wait, I'm making this video because everyone online is being awful. And then I'm like, never mind. So you got to take, the good and the bad, I guess. Try to throw out the bad. Anyways. Someone said that someone with Tourette's, most of my Tourette's are motor. I have really severe Tourette's and go into tic attacks around every 6 days. I'd still apologize for doing something inappropriate and have. Oof. Yeah, I don't even know what that's like, but I definitely understand that as well. Someone said, I have tics. I don't have Tourette's, but between my anxiety and ADHD, I have tics I can generally manage unless I'm so overstimulated / anxious, or if I'm with others who tic, because then we feedback loop. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I don't have tics in the traditional sense. I do. Does anybody find themselves like rocking and stuff? I'm not making a comparison. I'm just explaining some things that I deal with every now and then. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, why have I been doing this? Why have I been doing this really consistently for like, what am I doing? I think me personally, I definitely have like things in me that manifest strangely, and I'm like, brother, what are you doing? But I don't have any experience with actual involuntary movement that I can't control. Yeah, I see people in here, my fellow rockers, definitely a lot of rocking, shaking. Yeah, the stimming. That's what I have experience with personally, but that's just that's a different thing. Someone said autism moment when I realized I'm rocking back and forth. Yeah, no, the rocking is crazy. You would think I have like a soundtrack playing in my head. And that's usually how I realized too. I was like, oh, I'm locked in. I know I'm locked in. When you see me out here rocking, I'm like, oh, he's actually focused on something for once. And then I make myself stop rocking, but then I feel low-key like, no, I should have just kept going. It's so funny. Sometimes I have to force myself to stop after being bullied. Oh, that's not cool. That is not cool at all. I'm sorry to hear that. Reading. Someone said, I have so many things diagnosed. I'm not laughing at you. I have so many things diagnosed that I'm not even sure where my tics stem from. Yeah, no, that's I understand what you mean, or I hear you. I really do hear you. Someone said people are either being really racist or really ableist to the situation, but the BBC literally could have muted it or at least put a warning before the broadcast. Yeah, no, definitely exactly what I said in my video, and that's how I feel. But yeah, let's go. I really, so it's a flow state. It's very much like flow state, locked in. I really do hope I don't sound too annoying, or I don't know. I don't have a concept of how I'm coming across. I feel like I don't actually seem that sick. I'm looking at myself on camera. I'm trying to listen to myself. I sound a little bit stopped up, but I think it should still be a good video, honestly. I really do think it should. Sometimes I had to learn how to embrace my stems after being bullied for them. They exist to comfort me, and other people having an issue can shut the F up. That's a good way of going about it. You're not disadvantaging people by, I don't know, like, yeah, forget them. I'm glad. Forget the bullies, bro. Easier said than done, obviously. But yeah, people be dumb. They be dumb. They really do. Reading chat, reading chat. Someone says so many people don't even know what intersectionality is. Yeah, definitely. Someone said, hi, what are we talking about? Am I late? No, you're just in time. I'm kind of like slowly transitioning. I mean, it was over a few minutes of but we're going to be talking about prediction markets, gambling, sports betting. And it's just like a general sort of look at these things. I'm not here to do a deep dive today. But I still think it's a good topic. Also, Chad, I'm a little worried. Can I share a worry I have before I start this? I'm not getting into this super hard because it's not the point of my video. I'm just sort of mentioning that gambling and gambling adjacent things are taking so many forms now in this technology era. And one of the things that I mentioned is Genshin Impact. And what I don't want is to get jumped by Genshin Impact fans. Chat, if you're a gacha game fan, please don't jump me. I would like to say I actually do understand that it's a game beyond the actual gacha component of it. I'm not trying to reduce it. I'm also, for example, talking about FIFA and esports betting. I'm not trying to do the whole, gacha games are ruining everything. But yeah, please don't jump me when I mention please don't jump me when I mention Genshin today, because it's literally not coming from me trying to like dunk on these people. Someone said jump Genshin, I will defend you. Yeah, no. Someone said Genshin has gambling. Gacha is just one of many ways that some people find themselves locked into what could be considered predatory advertising and gambling adjacent things. I think the thing is, like, if you were to just outright say like, oh no, this game has gambling in it, some of them will get upset at you. And I'm more so just as a broader point about everything and not dunking on people who play these games at all, just pointing out like, hey, this is another way that somebody may actually be, spending their money or even a lot of money without realizing that it's sort of the same models that go behind trying to get people hooked on other forms of gambling and stuff like that. Some say I tried to play Genshin without paying money, but it's nearly impossible. But yeah, no, that was the one part of my outline. I'm always scanning my outlines, like trying to make sure, like, is this going to get me jumped? Because every now and then it happens, and I'm just like, no. And contrary to popular belief, I really don't. Someone said, "What is Gacha / Genshin?" I'll explain it when we get to it. Contrary to popular belief, I don't feel like I enjoy just pissing off random fan bases. I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, I totally did. I would love to just randomly piss off a fan base because, like, you're like, oh, y'all can't do anything, stay mad. It was kind of funny, but you get older and you realize, like, okay, this contrarian stuff is a little juvenile. And so nowadays, I would prefer the only people who actually feel dunked on by my content are people who deserve to get dunked on, which I don't think gacha game players fall under that category at all. Reading chat. Someone said I had to quit Genshin because I realized I had a gambling addiction at 13. And there was a problem how emotionally attached I was to this game. 13. Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that today too, of how, like, due to this being promoted by kick streamers and gamified and like all these weird legal loopholes, you are noticing this age get like younger and younger and younger, and it's a mess, but it is what it is. What can you do? Someone said Pinely just did a vid on this stuff. You're locked in. Oh, did he? I didn't even see his. Okay, well, you can watch both and compare and contrast. His probably has a lot more detail than mine, because I'm not making a video essay. I'm literally just ranting on the live stream as I always do. I think if anything, though, as I said, the gacha stuff is literally barely a part of it. I'm mostly talking about prediction markets because I'm appalled by this kind of thing. And if you don't know what a prediction market is, you're in the right place. I feel like you probably have heard of them at this point because they're just popping off insanely and they're getting promoted everywhere. But like, how could I? This is so bad. Reading chat. Someone said gambling starts on Roblox for some. I saw that while I was looking things up for this. I was like, you can gamble on Roblox essentially? And then I saw people saying, brother, you could gamble on Wizard 101. all these years ago. And I was like, what? And I actually think that as much as I don't like the discourse about video games being bad for people, how long do you usually stream for? Typically 4 hours, sometimes longer, but I think I'm probably only gonna make it 4 hours to stream. I'm feeling a little under the weather. As much as I usually don't like the discourse about like, oh, video games, the kids, think of the kids, that's usually a horrible argument. But if somebody wants to actually put some real non-fear-mongering scare tactic research into, hey, this can't be great, that this is completely unsupervised, and sort of building some of those like thought patterns when you're really, really young, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Someone said there's a whole Roblox stock market. No. Someone said, I'm thinking, wait, Roblox is a hosting / dev platform. You can do anything on it. That's what I didn't realize. I thought that roast blocks, or you just roast random blocks. That's the worst block I've ever seen. Roast blocks. I thought that Roblox was like a game, but then I saw that people were like making games in the game, and then that's when I realized, oh, D'Angelo, you don't know what Roblox is. Just admit it. Just admit it. You're 27. I mean, some people my age do know what this is, but I was like, you are not the target demographic for. Give up. Give up, D'Angelo. That's what I did. I gave up on Roblox. I was like, I thought this was like Minecraft. Like, that was literally my perception of Roblox for the longest time. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like Minecraft, but the characters look a little different. And then I see that people are doing, like, as you say, having entire stock markets. And I was like, I think there's more going on here. Someone said, D'Angelo, you're glowing. Thank you. Maybe the secret is to just get really sick. Maybe the secret is to just have a runny nose and weird allergies. But I feel that whatever I took kicking in. And I'm like, hold on. I feel good. Yeah, no, we're going to get this. We're going to get this. Someone said, if it helps, I only started playing Roblox like last year and I'm 27. You got to give me secrets for how to avoid the kids. That's the main thing. Is like, I don't want to play a game that has so many young people there. Gosh. Reading chat. Someone said, I was a Cookie Run OG when they only had at most 10 characters and the only game that existed was Oven Break. Cookie Run? Oh, see now. Oven Break, Cookie Run, you're getting a level of specificity that is beyond me. I'm unk. Someone said, I just got here. What did I miss? Nothing. In 2.5 minutes, we're starting this thing. We're pressing play. We're going full steam ahead. Ain't no stopping us. And someone said the only gacha game I play and love is Deep Space. I played... What was it called? Shadowverse. I don't know if I'm gonna actually talk about this during the video. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about this during the video because it's very much a tangent. But for Switch, there was this video game called Shadowverse. What was it called? Like Battle something? Shadowverse? I don't remember. Champions Battle. Okay, great. I didn't know what this was. I just saw like a bunch of anime characters and like trading cards, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I'll download the Shadowverse game and play that. And then I played it for 70 hours in a week. And that was fine because it didn't involve any of my real money or anything like that. But then once I ran out of content in the main game, actually what happened is I got really pissed off. Someone said Yu-Gi-Oh! Predecessor. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff probably. Once I like got as much content in the main game as I was actually willing to do, I was like, well, I want to keep playing because this game is so fun. So then I downloaded it on my phone. And that's when I realized I took a look at some of these menus and I was like, oh, this isn't like the Switch game at all. Because the Switch game did not have any sort of microtransactions in it, but this mobile game definitely did. So I narrowly avoided falling into one of these games. But like, it is addictive though. It literally is addictive. Like, I think that was probably the most times that I thought to myself of just like one more. Oh, just one more. Open one more pack and maybe I'll get this like legendary card. I don't remember how the cards are separated or ranked in this game because this was a couple of years ago. But I was like, oh, I just have to do like one more. I just need like this one card. And I would just roll and roll and roll and roll. Another thing that really sucks as well, because it's just stupid, is the game Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has fake gacha in it, which is so stupid. I think this genuinely might be the dumbest thing. Listen, Xenoblade is one of my favorite video game series of all time. This is the absolute most like idiotic move that I have ever seen a game franchise make. So in this game, to unlock the characters, which you need the characters, you have to roll fake gacha that doesn't even cost money. So you just keep going through this cycle of like opening these core crystals. They're called core crystals. And you're like, oh, please give me a legendary blade. And then it opens it and it's just a common blade. And you're like, oh, this sucks. And so again, it wasn't even real gacha because like it wasn't even like currency. I don't know how to explain it. It didn't involve money. It was just a complete time waster. And I wasted so much of my life just opening random core crystals and Xenoblade, trying to get legendary core crystals. And then someone said the gacha blades, aka slaves, was crazy. There's a pretty strong argument. Wait, let's not get into it because there is a pretty strong argument that like Xenoblade 2 is messed up in a way that goes far beyond the surface. But yeah, no, it works on me. And then also like, not to make everything about neurodivergence, but like y'all do know there is totally like a comorbidity or link between ADHD and being susceptible to the specific kind of pattern. Y'all know that, right? That's not just me spouting off. That's not just me making excuses for myself. I suspected as much. And I looked into it, and yeah, this is something that people are studying. They're like, oh, ADHD? Gambling addiction? Baby, you're our target audience. You're the one. So yeah, I can't do these things because as much as I'm about to criticize them in this video, not the people who use these things, but as much as I'm going to criticize the actual structures and all that, like I feel very, very at risk for the very behavior that we're going to be talking about today. And it makes me upset. It makes me mad. It's not good. And obviously that's just my specific version. You don't have to have ADHD to be susceptible to these things, but it's not a good concoction. With that being said, sometimes I have a hard rule. I don't spend real money on in-app purchases. I had to implement that for me as well. I really did. Of just like, this is never ever gonna help me. It's never gonna help me. I'm gonna start recording. All right. Re-recording. Everybody say hi to YouTube. Someone said I've always known I'm at risk as well. Wait, hold on. I said say hi to YouTube, but you already sent me on the tangent. By the way, that's a new world record. We're 12 seconds into the recording and I'm about to start talking about something else. Does anybody else feel like you're at risk for an addiction to literally everything? Cause I do. That's actually like, people have asked me, oh, D'Angelo, like why don't you drink or smoke or do these things? And I think a lot of people assume that it's like some sort of, I don't know, philosophical movement on my part or whatever. It's literally because I'm like, I'm going to have an addiction. I know that sounds insane, but I know it's true. Mostly because I can look at my other behavior in life and be like, I do this with things already. This is how I treat things on a minimum. I go into them with this like one more scale it bigger mindset. Everything I approach it this way. And so because of that, that is why when we go out, I personally don't drink. It has nothing to do with morality for me. There's nothing morally, drinking is awesome. Like, yeah, have a drink, have fun. But I just feel like that's not a type of fun I want to try because I don't trust myself at all and I'm terrified. That's how I feel. I will go my entire life just not even trying it because I feel like you're gonna fold. You're gonna fold, buddy. Oh, brother, it's not good. Someone said that's why I don't drink or smoke cigarettes. Yeah, no, that's my own personal experience. Someone said OCD had me addicted to cough drops because I was convinced they kept me from throwing up. Oh, that is rough. That is rough. That is really, really rough. Some say ADHD plus you're aware of addictive tendencies, which is good to be aware of. Yeah, no, definitely. Okay. Anyways, we here. Let's get popping. I'm here to talk to you about gambling. And actually, I would probably be like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th person to do this because we've been talking about the rise of gambling online for, I think, as long as online has existed. But I'm specifically talking about this latest evolution of gambling that you're seeing these celebrities, these sports athletes. That's a little bit redundant. You can tell I don't watch sports. All these big names getting behind prediction markets, which is the new angle that everybody wants to convince you is not actually gambling. It's this new separate thing. Prediction markets have essentially turned what was already quite predatory and dystopian into something that if I told you, hey, people are betting on whether or not, politicians are being attacked with dangerous liquids, this is where we're at. And we have prediction markets to thank for it. So obviously, to me, that sounds like sort of a bad thing. But no, this is actually a great thing that everybody's getting behind and investing. And we have all these names. So I'd like to talk about it today. I would really like to talk about it today. Someone said, I'm so sick of gambling popping up everywhere. Let's start there. So, I want to start off by telling you right now, sometimes I know that I have really great topics, and sometimes I know that I'm just saying the same thing everyone is saying. You have this Onion article from 1998. This is older than me. And as a joke, they said, online gambling, too depressing to even think about. Before this even existed, people knew this had to be some sort of recipe for disaster. But not even these prophets at the Onion could have predicted how bad everything was going to get, right? So specifically in the last few years, you constantly see things like this Reddit post. Why does it seem like gambling and sports betting is everywhere? Short answer, because it is. It is absolutely getting worse due to recent legislation changes and more aggressive promotion. You're not crazy for feeling this way. You're going to have a lot of people saying gambling has always been everywhere. That is true, but it is getting worse as well. And it's not just, individuals. You have influencers pointing this out. Shout out Drew Gooden. This is a really, really great video. And he himself briefly touches on prediction markets. But even about a year and a half ago when he made this video, it wasn't as bad as it is now. It's actually so very much worse, but we're going to get there. And then similarly, you're going to find yourself with a bunch of news outlets constantly selling the same story. The rise of sports betting. Sports betting worries grow as wagers skyrocket, etc. This has been going on super hard for a while now, and that's why it seems like it's everywhere. Because it really is. Oh, I see a lot of hype for Drew Gooden. That was a great video. Someone said Drew's video was my introduction to the topic, and it's gotten way worse. Yes. Who would have thought calling out an issue is just, it turned into a landmark of like, oh, it didn't even used to be as bad as it is now. Rough, buddy, rough. So why is this everywhere all the time? Obviously, when you have celebrity bettors, that's not helping anybody, right? You have this recent headline: Drake loses $1 million in Super Bowl bet as the Drake curse strikes again. So he bet on the wrong team, right? Lost a bunch of money. Haha, so funny. Except I don't really think this is funny at all, because Drake himself has been seriously promoting gambling to children for a while at this point. And whereas he has $1 million to lose, this is absolutely not the case for everybody here. And if you're like, well, I mean, that's a big, that's a big, okay, here we go. You're like, that's a big claim, D'Angelo. I think we all know that Drake has been on this betting train again for a while, but when I say he's promoting it to children, he's actually telling them, hey, do this and you can become even richer than me. I don't know how to make this video bigger. Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. God, it's so small. Why would you ever upload a video in this format? Hold on, this is actually pissing me off. It's like a horizontal Instagram reel. Okay. Oh, nah, he's lost. Okay, this is... I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna cry. Just listen to what Drake is saying. You don't need to see him. It's not that important. Let me unmute the tab. Oh, I pinned the tab. I didn't. What is the purpose of pinning a tab? Okay, let me unmute the tab.
The amount of hours and the amount of shit that I've been through with these fucking guys, ups and downs, real money, fucking lending each other money, fucking doing this, doing that. These guys are... I put it on everything I love. These guys are out here giving you the purest fucking shit that you can possibly get. So I've seen these guys fucking make more money than athletes and rappers combined. So fucking read them and weep, boys. You know?
That's not great. Drake on a live stream with a bunch of people who absolutely have underage audiences, because who else would even be watching this, telling kids, oh yeah, you can become even richer than the people you look up to because you can gamble like us and do the things that we're promoting. And this is really, really common messaging across Super Bowl ads or not Super Bowl ads. This is really, really common messaging across celebrity endorsement of gambling. You have at the Super Bowl, really, really big deal in America. One of the ads that they ran was for this sports book, which sports betting is just gambling on sports, truly. Very little distinction there. And you have Kylie Jenner going around promoting this, but I feel like the way she did it is just so strange. So they're making a joke, or they're making a joke here essentially, that like all of the athletes that Kylie, or wait, did I say Kylie? Sorry, Kendall. Did I? Chat, I swear to God, all these women are one person. I swear to God, they do not take up like separate entities. It's I only have one slot in my brain for any member of the Card Jenner family. Roll Rob in there too. Rob is also Kylie Jenner. I'm sorry. I meant Kendall Jenner, not whoever I said. I probably just made up a Kardashian right there. Trying again.
Haven't you heard? The internet says I'm cursed. Any basketball player who dates me kind of hits a rough patch.
So this isn't about Kendall's acting. I'm gonna try not to turn it into that. No, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. She has no presence. Listen, I'm not even gonna include this in the video. I'm really, really not. But like, you see her Kendall runway. She does this a lot, where she's just out there, promoting things, being a model, doing all the things that Kendall Jenner has always done. And I'm like, you don't have any. You gotta have Riz. You have to have Riz to do this. Or no, you don't. You just have to be a Nepo baby, essentially. But yeah, no, the lack of Riz that Kendall Jenner has needs to be studied. Anyways, that's not the point at all, and I'm sorry. Someone said Kylie is clearly your favorite. What? Kylie... I do not have a favorite Kardashian, brother. They also, I know you're joking. They all so weird. They're so weird. They're such a strange family. Also, have you noticed I almost never talk about them? They really weird me out. Anyways.
While the world's been talking about it, I've been betting on it. How else do you think I can afford all this? Modeling? This
I'm gonna get slammed for the copyrighted music they have in this ad, but that's okay. Very deliberately implying I'm making all this money off of betting. Look at this. She's gonna say she's been betting against every one of her boyfriends, and that's how she affords all of these different things.
pool, basketball boyfriend 1.
Wait, hold on. Look.
This pool, basketball boyfriend 1 missed the playoffs. I guess nobody was getting a ring in this house. Do you like this bad boy? Boyfriend 2 flopped right out of the league. Not that I ever tried.
This cute jut! Thanks, boyfriend 3!
But today,
Chat, it's so weird. Like, I think it's really easy to... This is obviously bad. And so it's easy to make surface level commentary of like, oh, haha, rich people... No, it's so insidious. You actually genuinely have celebrity millionaires, I don't know how much money these people have, it doesn't matter, telling you or pretending like, oh, we got rich off of gambling and this is something that you can do too.
it's time to bet on something new. Football players. I'm making my bet on who's going to win. And you can bet with me or against me on Fanatic Sportsbook.
Next stop, San Francisco.
Football boyfriend.
Is so bad. And I would be like, the only thing she's literally missing at this point, someone said this is a new ad for me. Yeah, sorry if this is the first time you're seeing it. The only thing we're missing at this point is just like an evil laugh in the background. She just needs to hit us with like a malevolent bad guy laugh, and then the ad would be complete.
Yes.
Bet on Ken.
Oh, okay, she did. Thanks, Kendall. That was great. It wasn't obvious enough. And this has been normalized to the point of, I mean, first of all, these comments are probably being like hella moderated since this was uploaded by the people who are promoting it. But comments just like, she had the opportunity to do the funniest thing and she did it. The last bit, Kardashian's curse, that's not even my last name. Hats off to the PR genius. Whoever thought of this is a genius. No, whoever thought of this is evil. Someone said cartoon villain levels of evil. Yes. Whoever thought of this, they have like reserved parking in hell. I cannot stress this enough. But it just goes on and on and on. The streams, the celebrities. And at this point, proliferation is inescapable. I want y'all to know this is not a paywall. You've read 13 articles in the last year. That's fine. I want you to know that people complain about things being everywhere all the time, but there's a difference between just seeing things in some places. And The Guardian saying gambling logos and ads seen up to every 13 seconds during big sports games in the US. Critics warn of top sports becoming a second-by-second gambling opportunity. As a new study shared with The Guardian reveals, blah, 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 blah. It's already happened. People are already betting second-by-second, play-by-play before you would bet on the outcome of a game. You know what I mean? But because you can get the predictions rolling so quickly due to celebrity assistance, people are able to do things like this. Hold on, wait. My bad. Micro betting. Don't bet on the outcome of the game. Wait, let me make it bigger. Bet on the actual play-by-play. Who will score the 154th point? Who will score the 155th point? Like, bet 100 times off of one game. Actually, again, shout out technology. You know, I never want to sit here and sound like some sort of Luddite. However, this is not a good thing. Someone said the push for this industry is crazy. We're going to get into... Okay. We're going to get into that in a second. I'm going to spoil, though. I'm going to spoil. The Trumps are involved. And I'm not just saying that because it's like, oh, he's finna turn everything political. No. I mean, like, PBS, newsroom, Trump administration backs prediction markets, even as states are trying to ban that. There is a reason, and it's not just because, oh, people are using it. It's deliberately being pushed and protected right now by this administration. So, again, we'll get there when we get there. And I'm sorry that there happens to be a manga connection here, but it's part of the research. It would literally be irresponsible to not bring that up. Someone says, is that a spoiler? No. Least surprising outcome ever. But yeah, between... it's just insane how much technology has changed this between crypto casinos. Y'all remember Iggy Azalea? That's what she's doing right now, trying to make her money off of her crypto casino. What else do I have for us? The insane amount of sports betting, which we all know is happening, which is also now being pushed forward with artificial intelligence. It says with artificial intelligence being used to automate and accelerate the creation of more betting markets, in-game betting is expected to continue its rapid growth. So, you know, some of y'all don't like AI for various reasons. You're like, oh, it's disenfranchising artists, and also it's bad for the environment, and this, that, the other. Yes, it's also now enabling people to create effectively like super gambling. I guess like normal gambling in and of itself was just not enough for people. So now we have AI super gambling going on, which is great. Fantastic. And then one thing that I want to talk about though, and this is a part of the video where you got to work with me. So much of this is normalized because it gets, this is an obvious point, but the people I'm talking about sometimes get a little picky when you start saying these things. So much of this is normalized because it's being snuck into things that people already enjoy. So video games would be a great example of that. That's not sports betting, even though you do kind of have this weird sort of mix between video games and betting. For example, did y'all actually know that there is an esports betting scene? I didn't know that until recently. People asking, what's the best esports betting website? Should I use Titan Treasure, Pinnacle? I would suggest maybe don't use any of this, because esports betting is, but you know what? At the same time, you're definitely free to do these things, right? That's the really tricky thing. I don't want to sound like I'm actually lobbying for any sort of anything because you get put in a really weird position where people are absolutely free to do what they want with their money. They are. I just also find it completely irresponsible to be pushing these things to people with misleading advertising. It's not going to make you rich. Having the people promote it who don't actually stand to lose anything, because Drake can blow $1 million and nothing will actually happen to him. There are obviously elements of this that are wrong, even if it is every person's individual choice whether or not they want to use Betway Esports or Pinnacle, which I'm sure their advertising is amazing. In addition to that, we have like these weird forms of like virtual sports betting, where you have people like, you know what, forget the game itself, we could just bet on fake sports games. I'm being so for real right now. It's not nearly as mainstream as the other things I'm talking about, but that's when I realized at this point, I was like, oh, y'all are running computer simulations and just betting on those. Any and every opportunity to create a new version of this is going to happen. That's sort of the thesis of this. If you think of any potential technological application for how to invent a new form of gambling, it's literally going to happen. It's also horrendous when it comes to loot boxes, which many people will tell you is not a form of gambling. But can I say, if you got people spending $8,000 on FIFA, actually teenagers spending $8,000 on FIFA using their parents' credit cards, like, doesn't matter what you call it. Someone said on Kaushi you can bet on any event. Oh, we're gonna get there. We gonna get there. Kaushi is, I have all the smoke and all the beef for these people. Similarly, you see this a lot with gacha games. Now, a little bit before this video started, before I started recording, I asked everybody in my chat not to jump me when I make a slight criticism about Genshin Impact, because this game has some ride or dies. I'm not criticizing the game or the people who play it. I'm just saying, if Genshin Impact is making $5 billion in revenue in China, which is just one of many gacha style games that have become very popular, you definitely have people pouring a lot of money into this, on track to hit $10 billion globally in 2025. You don't make $10 billion because everybody who is using your product has a great and healthy relationship with it. You feel me? Doesn't change the fact that Genshin Impact is still a game, you know, that people put a lot of work into and has a bustling community and all that. But I feel like, actually, diversion. I've been on track for 23 minutes, but I want to work with you on this chat. Some say you're getting canceled on Twitter now. Oh, I'm sure I will. Some say there's a delay. Is there a delay? Hold on. Two things. Is there actually a delay? Do I sound delayed for you? Testing 1, 2, 3. Or does everybody need to like refresh? Because let me know. I think thus far, I haven't experienced a delay. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. I know there's a delay between me talking and then the stream going out, but I want to make sure that like it's not that bad. Some of the delay on YouTube is just always bad. No delay, yes delay, not for me, no delay. There's a bigger delay than normal in my opinion, no delay. Okay, enough people are saying it's fine that I'm going to suggest you refresh. There's really not much I can do on my end, I'm sorry. I do genuinely wish I could fix that for y'all, because I know that's a little bit annoying. It's not the worst thing in the world to have to refresh the stream, but yeah, please refresh if it's annoying for you. Also, like, streaming is amazing when you think about it. Wait, someone said, whoa. Somebody put something good there. Someone said Fire Emblem Heroes on mobile made over $2 billion. Is that true? I need to fact check that. Fire Emblem Heroes $1 billion. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. This is exactly what I'm talking about. According to this article right here, Nintendo has generated nearly $2 billion from mobile games so far. So obviously this is a big thing. But here, since we're here, someone said what's going on. We're in the middle of talking about the various forms of gambling, but I was about to take a break and ask, if you're a Genshin Impact fan, do you not think the game would just be better without the gacha stuff? Now, I've never actually played Genshin Impact. I like the visual style and all of that's really cool. It just never interested me because I tend to avoid gacha games just for my own sanity. But like, anytime I do see anything that has gacha in it, I'm like, would it not just still be a great game without this stuff? Obviously, you're not going to make $10 billion worldwide when you don't have the inclusion of this, but I don't even feel like the majority of the people playing these games, I don't think the gacha elements is that important to them. I just think it's more so like you don't need every single Genshin Impact player to be paying you money. If enough of them do, even potentially falling into like these sort of dangerous habits or whatever, that's where your $10 billion comes from. A lot of people play these games for free. You don't have to pay to play, but the model exists to take advantage of the people who do have money to spend on it, which is just kind of rough. Someone said, I can't believe I thought Gacha was the name of a specific video game until today. No, it's a model. Someone said my favorite part of the game was the RPG open world development. Yeah, no. Someone said player since 1.5, dear Lord, yes, it would be 1,000% better. Yeah, no, it's really, really rough to see companies doing this, but you understand why they do it because it works. One thing I will say, for those of you who don't know what Gacha is, essentially you're rolling by spending some sort of asset within the game with the possibility of receiving a reward that is randomized. So I don't know how it works in Gacha. I can talk a little bit about Xenoblade 2. There's things called core crystals, and if you open a core crystal, you may get a character. Now, you might get like the most dope character you've ever seen, or you might get just the most mid pull or something that you already have 5 of or whatever. Gacha manifests in different ways, but when you start making it possible for people to take their very real money and use that to purchase these assets that you're then rolling with the hopes of getting specific prizes, that is why people say this is gambling or gambling adjacent. And that is why I say whatever word you use doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't really matter that much. Someone said mystery boxes. Yeah, loot boxes. All of these things have existed for so long. And I just really want to emphasize, like, there's so much pushback against the terminology, but people are struggling, right? You've got people online saying, I'm struggling with gacha gambling addiction. I would appreciate advice, you know, saying I've made the decision to quit. I'm locking my bank accounts. I'm trying to seek a therapist. And you have people in the comments saying, I had to leave the community. My friend had an addiction, spent $500 he didn't have. I'm not advocating for the erasure of these games. That would just be stupid. I'm just saying, this sucks. This absolutely sucks for people. Someone says sort of like the FIFA games as well. Yeah, if you got smoke for any sort of gacha game or Genshin or whatever, you should have equal amount of smoke for FIFA, because you should not be able to spend $8,000 in a video game. You just shouldn't be able to do that. You really, really should not be able to do that. So it's not unique to any one specific area. It's everywhere, and it's awful. Sorry, I just realized I'm getting really heated about this, but like, I am a gamer. I am actually a gamer. And it's, dude, it's so bad in gaming. It's like every single game essentially turning into something that you don't really own and also wants to continue making money off of you forever is so different from how it was when I first got into gaming, like literally 24 years ago. I'll show you what 23 years ago. I'll show you what my very first video game was. My parents had a rule when I was a kid. They said, D'Angelo, you have to know how to read before you get into video games. I think I was like maybe 4. I was about 4. And my parents were like, if you playing games, you got to be able to read all the text in the game. And I was like, then you best believe I'm finna be the best reader you ever seen. And so I had this sort of mix of trying to, you know, games were seen as a thing where like you want to embrace them fully. You don't just want it to actually be brain rot, I guess. You want to be able to appreciate the things you're getting. So the first game that I remember getting as a kid was Super Mario World 2, Super Mario Advance 2. I don't know when this came out. This is so funny. Oh, it came out in 2001. Okay, yeah. This game would have come out when I was 3. It would have come out when I was 3. And yeah, after proving that I could read everything on the back of the box, my parents are like, okay, yeah, you can absolutely have this one. And so, yeah, I played through. Super Mario Advance 2 is literally just 2 Mario games on one Game Boy Advance cartridge. And I played through, I was swimming underwater. I was like, this is so fun. I love this. Wow, video games are amazing. So I've essentially been enamored with games for as long as I've existed, and watching them turn into something that has gotten more and more just ravaged by capitalist tendencies and possibilities due to changing technology and all this has been one of the saddest moments of my life. I'm so sad. Someone said that's cute. It was cute, and now it's very much not cute. But anyways, that's enough about games. That's enough about this. I want to talk to y'all about prediction markets. What have we been betting on thus far? Who's gonna win this sports game? Am I going to get this special video game character that I want? All of these things are normal and have existed for a very long time. But what is recently taking off in popularity is the ability to bet on reality itself. I think the best way I could explain this is just by looking at one of these pictures in this article about it from the New York Times. Whoa, that's really big. So you have this stupid advertisement where they're essentially saying which person is going to get elected mayor of New York, or you know what I mean? Like, these are very odd things to be able to gamble on, because the implications go really far beyond like, oh, people could lose money. You also start getting into market manipulation and strange things like this. But the people behind the main prediction market companies, which would be Polymarket and Kalshi right now, very much want to gamify everything. Actually, they use really specific language about this. They want to financialize everything, is what they said. Here, I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to fast forward to 32 seconds in. Someone said I'm crying. Why are they shirtless? Man, I hate modern advertisements so much. Someone said this stuff wrecks me. I don't know why anyone accepts it. Yeah, dark times. Dark times. Okay, here. I'm going to press play on this.
The stock market, it's going outside of stock market.
Oh, I was just like, I realized like, who is this? This is the co-founder of Kalshi Prediction Market Company. He says,
it's going outside of stock market. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion. And I think if you do build a general purpose exchange that can resolve differences of opinions on anything, like the TAM is quite massive, quite a bit bigger than the current TAM of the stock market.
Why is your goal to financialize everything and turn any difference of opinion into a tradable asset? This is the fact that this is working, I think, is maybe the worst thing. This being the dream of some bonkers capitalist wannabe billionaire makes sense. Of course, there are people this unhinged, but the fact that they had this idea and it is taking off right now. Someone says it's actually ghoulish. Yeah, I would have to agree. It's beyond ghoulish. And what is really annoying to me is they're trying to pass this off as a good thing. Yes, we want to be able to turn everything into money, essentially, but this is good because it gets people really interested in information.
I think putting aside sort of the retail trading and the institutional trading product, like there's sort of this separate product, which is like, we are living in a world where like we have an abundance of information, but there's a lot of noise, and like we don't really understand what's real from what's not. And prediction markets are an antidote to that. They do a very, very good job at distilling information and surfacing truth to people. And you're seeing this sort of massive shift where like people are using them whenever they think about questions about the future, you know, whenever they're debating about anything.
Brother. Also, I mean, the urge to stay professional. I mean, I'm not professional. My videos are all biased. I can say whatever I want about anybody. I'm just going to say this dude specifically annoys me so much. Hearing him brag about how much money his company is making right now and how we could very easily go from being $100 billion industry to $1 trillion industry. Listen.
Mark, you've mentioned multiple times that you think prediction markets will be bigger than the stock market. What is it going to take to become $1 trillion asset class?
It's pretty much already like close to 100 billion a year asset class, right? Like, it's pretty easy to imagine a 10x from here. Like, we haven't even started. It's been a year. I think a very large number of people care.
We got to bring back shame. We got to bring back just shame as an institution. Why are you proud of this? Pretending like this is anything other than a paycheck for him that's based off of people losing their money by betting. I cannot predict. This is insane. This is insane. Someone said, I just got here. What is this? Oh, we were listening to the co-founder and CEO of Kalshi explaining prediction markets, which allow you to bet on essentially any outcome in reality or existence. And he's pretending like this is a good thing because question mark because it gets people interested in information. But obviously this is the part where I show you, no, this is a bad thing. And it's leading to some really awful things. So if you yourself are kind of like, how does this play out? I don't really understand like what this prediction market thing looks like. I have this article from Bloomberg, which breaks it down. It breaks it down really well. So on a January 28th meeting, this is the Federal Open Market Committee press conference in Washington. The Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, was giving a speech, right? He was explaining some things. And the people on these prediction markets were betting. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello? Refresh the stream. Refresh the stream. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Refresh. Refresh the stream. Someone said YouTube is on one today. Remember to refresh if you're experiencing issues. Yeah, no, someone said refresh fixed it. Okay, good. Refreshing fixed the sound. Yeah, okay. Everybody please refresh if you YouTube, what is going on? YouTube. I'm trying to do my job here. Is YouTube down? No. They're just coming for me specifically. Someone said it's been totally fine. Yeah, I'm sorry if you have not been having issues, and I'm pausing every 5 seconds to say refresh. But yeah, I've got to keep it good for everybody. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not me. I swear to God, they just be dropping out. But like, live streaming, if you think about it, is such a complex technology. It's not surprising that this happens. I'm transmitting audio and video right now from my actual like room all across the world via a free video website. So I am a little bit mad at them, but I'm also just like, no, this is insane that this works ever. It's pretty crazy. Someone said the prediction markets were trying to silence you. YouTube and Kalshi partnership. No, for real. Like, that's suspicious. That's weird. Anyways, let me drink some water really fast. So this is what it looks like. This is how gambling works in the new prediction market era. The reporters attending the press conference hung on Powell's every word, but it says, online, another group was monitoring his performance for a different reason. On Discord and X, dozens of traders had been discussing their bets on which words would come out of Powell's mouth. Many were sure he would say good afternoon. He usually does. Others wagered on shutdown, layoff, yield curve, or egg among the 44 different terms offered on the prediction market platform Kalshi. So it's, if like betting on a sports game play by play sounded bad to you, we have devolved into betting on reality word by word. And that is why I'm making this video, because I do feel like the average person understands that prediction markets are a bad thing. But when I realized it was literally down to this level, I'm just like, this is insane. This is actually insane. From his parents' house in Orlando, Austin Minton, a 23-year-old live streamer with shaggy blonde hair, shared his thesis that Powell wouldn't say Trump because he hadn't been saying this. He had said that he wouldn't say projection, but that he would say renovation. And bettors had traded more than $2.8 million on Kalshi's specific Powell market. Just millions and millions of dollars being traded just off of this speech to give an idea of what this volume is looking like. So he says, good afternoon, right? And this live streamer's like, yes, easy $3. And he begins saying these things: shutdown, softening, layoffs. People are getting paid and or losing money depending on what they bet, whether he would say it or not. And then at the end, he says renovation as a surprise, and people get paid. Look at this. Responding to the final questioner, he went on a mention spree. the summary of economic projections, we hadn't had a pandemic, a trade war, there's great uncertainty, etc. But because he accidentally said renovation instead of revolution, anyone who bet on renovation stood to get paid. And I'm just like, let's think about this. Let's use our brains for a second. I don't enjoy conspiracy theories for the most part. Well, no. I like harmless conspiracy theories, right? I've told you all about my favorite conspiracy theory. I've already covered this on the channel. I'm probably going to do it again. It is Haler vehicular manslaughter. This is my favorite conspiracy theory. My 13. Oh, whoa. How did I leave my computer? Okay, never mind. This just disappeared. Someone said insider trading. Oh, just wait. Okay, this just disappeared. My favorite kind of conspiracy theories are like this person with a 13-point PowerPoint on why they believe Harry Styles and Taylor Swift murdered someone and have been leaving hints throughout their music. This is funny to me because I know that it's not true. Harry Styles and Taylor Swift did not accidentally kill someone with a vehicle. And therefore, this form of conspiracy theory is literally hilarious, okay? So when I say, oh, I like a good conspiracy theory, this is usually what I'm talking about. Ones where you kind of know that it's not true and you're not actually trying to make life worse for any of the people. Someone said beautiful. No, it's hilarious. They go through bit and bit. Look at this style. Harry is picking up Taylor and taking her on a drive. Since they don't want to be seen by the paparazzi, he keeps the headlights off. They're going through lyric by lyric and basically proving like these two definitely accidentally killed somebody. That's funny, right? Here's an example of conspiracy theories that I don't really like. The LGBT community has an agenda to do these things. Whatever the current agenda is, it changes every single week. This medical scientific information is actually false because I believe it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, this group of people has terrible qualities about them. I hate having to be like a closet conspiracy theorist where I can't actually admit that I enjoy conspiracy theories because I think people start thinking like, oh, do you have horrible opinions about marginalized groups? Or do you believe in like terrible scientific misinformation that actually harms and or kills people? That's why I usually don't say that I enjoy conspiracy theories. And it makes me sad. It makes me really sad. Someone said conspiracy theories. I don't like the LGBT. Yeah, no, not a big fan of that one, for example. Someone said you got to go to the gay agenda meetings to keep up, though. Bro, I'm trying to keep up, for real. Actually, tangent. One of the things I saw recently was the phrase gay tech mafia. And I was like, what does that mean? What does gay tech mafia mean? It was, oh wow, that is quite the cover art. And YouTube, if you're going to be weird about this, I'm going to throw a fit. YouTube has already got to probably block the hell out of this live stream because we watched an entire Kindle Jenner ad. But listen, ignore this deeply suggestive cover art on this Wired article. They basically were explaining this idea of there being a gay tech mafia, which immediately to me, I was like, is homophobia? Question mark? But no, they kind of broke it down a little bit further than that while acknowledging that yes, this obviously can be linked to or rooted in like homophobic conspiracy theories. That actually so many people in Silicon Valley are gay. And there kind of is a gay tech mafia. Did y'all know that? It doesn't have anything to do obviously with people's orientation. It's not like, I guess, a byproduct of that or anything. But yeah, they start breaking it down. They're like, oh yeah, did you know that these people are like out and about and this, that, the other? And I read the article and I was like, there really was a gay tech mafia. It's so funny. But yeah, no, like, again, like this is stupid. These are things that I think are a little bit funny to speculate on when it comes to conspiracy theories. Wired didn't write this article because they think that gay people are bad or that there's anything real about this. Someone said, no, I def didn't. Yeah, no, like so many big tech people actually do happen to be LGBT as well. I had no idea. Someone said the more you learn. Here, I want to give you an example. I'm going to try to find the full version of this. This was a part where I was like, wait, what? Is that real? Okay. Peter Thiel, Tim Cook, and Sam Altman all being gay or something like that. I was like, what? I didn't know that because I don't know anything about Sam Altman's personal life, right? Like he's not the kind of guy where I'm just like, yeah, I care about who you are as a person. It doesn't matter. But I was like, is that actually true? And then they started explaining, yeah, like all these people are out and about. This is a pretty common thing. People talk about this. And I was like, really? I just didn't know this. It was just new information to me. It was literally hilarious. This was one of the most fascinating articles I've read in a long time. Someone said, which isn't a dig at the doll, it's just how society works. Yeah, no. It's not a bad thing. I was just shook. Someone said he has a child and wife. No. He doesn't. Sam Altman doesn't have a child and wife. He's married to a man. I literally this is an actual objective fact. I didn't know that. I was like, I swear to God, I made up a straight family for this man. In my head, whoever said doesn't he have a wife and family, I felt the same way. I was like, yes, he does. What is the point of this article? But no, they were explaining so many of these people just happen. I don't know. It's just a funny coincidence. Anyways, that's enough about Sam Altman and the gay tech mafia. That's not important. And please don't clip this out of context and say D'Angelo is promoting homophobic conspiracy theories. I just thought it was fascinating. So all this to say, someone said the AI is his child and wife. Yeah, he's married to ChatGPT, who is his wife. All this to say, if you hear about prediction markets, I don't want to be conspiracy minded and say this is obviously just an amazing front for insider trading. I try to be really, really careful about the things that I speculate on to make sure that I'm not being one of those conspiracy theory folks. However, I think it's pretty worth noting. I can't pull this. Someone said, I wish there was a tinfoil hat emote. Me too. That would be so good. It's worth noting when things like this happen, it really calls into question these prediction markets. A $400,000 profit on Maduro's capture raises insider trading questions on Polymarket. So Polymarket, which is not Kalshi, but is essentially the same thing. Somebody hours before this operation in which Venezuelan leader Maduro, I'm just quoting NPR here, was captured, they wagered $32,000 that he would somehow be toppled by the end of January. And then this person went on to gain $400,000 in profit. How would you know to do that? Literally, like, there's absolutely no way that this was just some random person. Nobody knows who did that, by the way. According to this, it says online sleuths have attempted to identify this trader with no luck. They changed their display name. They joined Polymarket just weeks before making this trade. Things like that are very strange. You are enabling people to do this. Now, again, I don't know how this person made this bet. I'm just saying the potential here is super odd. Here's another example of things that I consider to be really strange. So, politician. I'll make sure it's not giving me stuff. Oof. Yikes. I didn't think that they would show the video of that. A politician was attacked here in the... Someone said this is too technical for me to understand. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll try to break it down simpler. Essentially, this website, which allows you to bet on anything, somebody placed a bet that almost implies that they knew the thing that was going to happen before it happened. And whereas it's a possibility that that was just a random person, that would be one of the strangest coincidences of all time. Another example of how this is just getting into super, super strange political territory here is you had a politician, Ilhan Omar, attacked during a Minneapolis town hall. Somebody rushed her and threw liquid on her, this is insane. There's the climate that we're in at this point. And what did you have happening? People on people on Polymarket betting. What was Omar sprayed with? Oh, do you think it was urine? Do you think it was poison? Do you think it was just water? Do you think it was vinegar? You can see hundreds of thousands of dollars, people betting, people in the comments saying, oh, it was this thing. I think it was this thing. I think it was this thing. The potential for mismanagement here is insane. Literally, what is to stop somebody from orchestrating these sort of things? And that specifically referring to like attacks on people. What is to stop somebody from orchestrating this and then profiting off of it? Or what is to stop somebody for having this insider information, knowing about it, betting on this and making all this money? Like, this is getting awful. Also, people were betting on like, oh, I bet she faked it. There was another one for that. Is it going to come out that Omar, this was all a hoax and she did this for attention and sympathy? It's getting bad. It's getting really, really, really bad. Polymarket is unhinged. Look at this. I'm telling you right now, this is not a great thing at all. Again, this was something that I saw Drew mention briefly in his video, like, oh, these political bets are happening. It was just a little note at that time, but these are taking off and these markets are getting promoted and everybody is trying to get in on this now. When you get to, because the people behind it want to financialize everything, right? In reality, they're just actually profiting off of and gamifying like tragedy and war and things like this. Someone said it's also aggressive. Yeah, no. Hold on. But if you're wondering to yourself, like, how is this even working or how is this allowed? You would think that this was blah, blah, blah. Maybe because the Trump administration is essentially behind this. There ain't finna be no repercussions for this. This is benefiting the people in our administration. So I have this article right here. from PBS News. Trump administration backs Kalshi and Polymarket as states move to ban prediction markets. People are trying to stop this from happening for various reasons. There's so many reasons that, whoa, got real big, real fast. So many reasons that you wouldn't want this happening. But why would this ban ever work when it says any friendly decision that is made on this industry could end up financially benefiting the president's family as well? President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., has invested in Polymarket through his venture capital firm and is a strategic advisor for Kalshi. So if you're like, oh, well, this is a horrible thing, surely like someone in the government will save us. It's not nobody ever. That is actually more so like, oh, people who are tangential to the government are actually profiting off of this, invested in this. They're running it. This is actually genuinely insane. This is... I'm tired, boss. I'm actually really, really, really tired here. So moving on from the political aspect, because I don't want to get too lost in the sauce. I don't want to get too lost in the political sauce. I've been trying to minimize my thinking about these things. I want to say that, like, it's not just politics. It's not just speeches and things like this. You are also getting this weird usage of prediction markets to get around regulation that exists for sports betting right now, right? Because you can also go on Kalshi and say, oh, I bet this person's going to win a game. And so it's blowing up right now in sports. You have like basketball player Giannis Antetokounmpo investing in Kalshi as well. saying everyone is online. The internet is full of opinions. I decided it was time to make some of my own. Today, I'm joining Kalshi as a shareholder. We all on Kalshi now, he says. And that's why, like, it's being normalized. We all on Kalshi now is insane. Coming from somebody who is this popular. If you don't play sports, Giannis is big, 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 big. And you have all these people in the comments saying things like, selling your soul to Kalshi. Should be illegal for a professional athlete to be a shareholder in a gambling site. Giannis, I'm so proud of you. You only make $58 million a year running and dunking. So of course you had to seek out more money elsewhere. Concept of an NBA player owning a gambling company partnered with Kalshi when your own likelihood to get traded can be bet on there is wild. If this sounds like a conflict of interest to you, it is. Now, that doesn't mean that Giannis himself is allowed to directly bet on things while being a part of the NBA, etc. But this is still just an insane move on his part. And they're trying to get in right now every angle that they can, even though technically like people in the PGA are not actually allowed. Let me pause that. People in the PGA are not allowed to promote these sort of things. Well, you have Kalshi being like, okay, well, the PGA is not the only professional golf association. Who else can we get? So you've got like Bryson DeChambeau partnering with Kalshi, being, according to this, the first athlete to sign with a prediction market.
You're the first, I think, pro athlete with a prediction market, or at least with Kalshi.
Yeah, a prediction market. I mean, that's where a lot of our break 50s or course record series are going to be quite valuable. It's going to be fun for people to see. They can predict if I'm gonna, break enough course records or break 50 with whoever the guest is. That's what we're excited for. It's just creating some more gamification for our viewers, as well as have live. Am I gonna make a birdie on the next hole, or am I gonna win this tournament or that tournament? There's just so many things you can do with the prediction market. It's quite fun for and entertaining for the fan to engage with.
All these people trying to figure out ways of not saying, oh, we're doing this because it's going to make hella money. It's going to make hella money. You've got to say, no, it's fun. Sorry that it was quiet. But hey, it had captions. I'll boost it when I go back and edit it. You have people saying like, oh no, it's not because it makes money. It's because like it's more information. It's because it's fun for our viewers. It's because it's exciting to gamify everything. Like, brother, you signed with Kalshi because Kalshi probably paid you enough money to fund you for several lifetimes. Generations you probably have been set up through this Kalshi deal. This is deeply, deeply disappointing. And everybody at this point sort of sees that this is going to wind up being the future. You've got like Kevin Durant investing in this. It's not just people in politics, it's people in sports, etc. Hold on. Look at this. Co-founder previously said in October that KD participated in the company's $300 million Series D funding round. And it's just like, even if you can't actually promote it or whatever, people are figuring out ways of getting in on this. It's painful. Someone said rebranding gambling to prediction market. Gambling has been rebranded to everything at this point. It's been rebranded to loot boxes. Actually, no, it's Gacha. Actually, no, it's prediction markets. Actually, no, it's sports betting. Actually, we're not a gambling house. We are a sports book. And it's infuriating. You know what it kind of reminds me of? No, I'm not going to say that. No, I am. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of vaping, actually. It kind of reminds me of vaping. Where you're like, and I'm not here to spread misinformation, but obviously vaping is not a healthy activity. It makes me think a lot about how it was like, oh, cigarettes, yeah, we're moving past that. Cigarettes bad. No, we don't want to do that, even though people are smoking more now. But now it's a thing where it's like, oh, vaping, we're all vaping now. Don't worry about cigarettes. That's not something that we're trying to do. And then you look at vaping and you're like, that doesn't make this a healthy activity. Now, granted, adults can still vape if you want to. I don't know. Like, it's not, please don't take it as me saying like people should not be doing these things, but you should definitely not be thinking to yourself like, oh, this is healthy because it's not this other thing that we do know is unhealthy. That's how I feel about a lot of this like non-gambling stuff that is happening and just going to younger and younger demographics. Now, with that being said, someone said the epidemic of 5th graders vaping. Dude, that's kind of my next point, actually, is like, because this has all been gamified and enmeshed with technology, and because the kids are always one step ahead of us when it comes to tech, these are the people who are being hit the hardest by these things. Someone said my 10-year-old's siblings are vaping. No! Oh, that's awful. Someone said they marketed it to kids as soon as it came out. Yeah. Anyways. So before, when people were saying, hey, this is bad, this is bad, this is going to be a bad thing, there wasn't exactly, I guess, it hadn't been going on long enough for us to prove that this is not a good thing. But when you have people saying things like, hey, study reveals surge in gambling addiction following sort of this legalization and surge in people using these things, it says right here, what was the part where, oh, here we go. This is just sad. Record levels of gambling addiction help seeking. Internet searching searches for things like I have a gambling addiction or trying to get help. Am I addicted to gambling? Have increased by 23% according to their searches. It says corresponds with like 6.5 million to 7.3 million searches for gambling addiction help seeking nationally. You can say whatever you want about, you know, this, but objectively people are suffering because of the way that this is being pushed, and I think it's terrible. You're also seeing more calls going out to hotlines. Open, wait, I'm moving this smaller. This is Axios providing some information about the increase in the calls to gambling hotlines and people trying to get help. And you can see it's even higher in places where it's specifically been legalized, but it's going up everywhere. Everybody is suffering more because of this, or at least figuring out that they're suffering more because of this. Someone said this video is sponsored by 1-800-GAMBLING. Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. Definitely not accepting any gambling sponsorships. And this is why. Because for me personally, to do something like promote gambling, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think an adult making choices with what they want to do with their money isn't the same thing as me consciously thinking to myself, oh, I do know that this is part of a massive machine that is targeting and exploiting people and that they are suffering, but I got paid, so I'm just going to tell them, hey, go download DraftKings or whatever, and just hope that nobody in my audience is falling into this sort of addiction or whatever. I'm completely unwilling to do that. I don't think that makes me like a moral high. This should literally be the bare minimum. There's no way that this should be a thing. And yet, when you go to YouTube and you're like, what should I search? Like sponsored by DraftKings or something? Sponsored by DraftKings. They're very much here. DraftKings has a YouTube presence. They sign brand deals. They have a channel. They make offers. I received offers to do this. So me sitting here on YouTube, I'm very much on a place that is currently part of the problem. Part of the problem. I've seen some people take DraftKings sponsorships where I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way. There's truly no way. I mean, hey, it's your choice, buddy, but this is insane. Reading chat. Someone said, I worked in a casino buffet and came across so many addicts we were directed to report, and I never see anything come of it. Yeah, no, like, you want to make money off people, but you don't want to help them if they suffer because of the things that you specifically were doing and pushing towards them. Not you, working at this place. You know what I mean? The people who run it. And that's the thing, too. Like, an employee of, you work at a casino or whatever, you have a job. That's so much different than somebody like me effectively promoting this to people. That's not the same thing at all. And I want to make that distinction. Someone said, I think stake is the real big evil one right now. These gambling companies are sponsored by some gross people and streamers too. Yeah. Is stake the one that people do on Kick? Chat? Or I might be wrong about that. But I think I have heard like, yeah, Kick streamers broadcast themselves gambling on stake. And this again has been going on for a couple years now, but it's just getting more and more ridiculous. Someone said video games are encouraging gambling addiction these days. Yeah, I talked about that earlier of just all of this like loot box, gacha stuff that's going on. Someone said that's a Kick one. Yeah, no, it's really disappointing. Anyways, going back to my point sort of like young people being hit the hardest. You have this NPR interview where it says the rising cost of betting addiction among young people. This literally came out a couple weeks ago, y'all. And you have somebody who runs a support group for people with gambling problems at saying things like, we had 17 new members, I think, in the last 5 months. And I'd say at least 2/3 of them are probably, 20s and 30s. And saying the problem here is sports betting. People falling into this, trying to, turn a buck because you were told that you could do this. Kendall told you that she made all this money this way. You can do it. And obviously she's joking, but in your mind, you do think that this is a possibility. You're funneling younger people into this. And then it's like 20s and 30s. When you see the number just start getting younger and younger and younger, like for example, college campuses have become a front line in America's sports betting boom. And you're like, oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Thank you, The Economist. Or, this is the one where I was just like, okay, this is actually awful. Essentially saying like 18 to 20-year-olds who are too young to gamble legally in most states could potentially be funding the usage of these prediction markets, because if you can't actually go to a casino or whatever, you can still hop on Kalshi or Polymarket and do as much gambling as you want to do. So they are absolutely potentially circumventing all of these things that have been put into place. What little has been put into place to try to prevent this from happening among young people is just pointless when all you have to do is pretend that the thing that you're doing is not gambling. Someone said it's so bad here. Yeah, it's bad. It's not good. Someone said the amount of 19-year-old gambling addicts is heartbreaking. Yeah, no, there's a lot of them at this point. And then it kind of is just like, where does that leave us? Someone said betting is huge at my college. Yeah, no, this is, again, I want to show you these sources of, like, it's literally not just me being like, oh, I don't like this thing. I don't think anybody should do it. No, this thing is happening. And now people are experiencing this. I don't know. It sucks. It sucks so bad. Someone said the amount of dudes I see gambling during my college lectures is beyond me. Yeah, definitely so. Okay, hold on. Trying to pull this up. A lot of people I know or talk to, unfortunately, do this as well. And like, again, you're free to do that, but the lack of protection, I guess, or care for people or their lives is what really bothers me more than anything. You have Pew Research Center saying right now, Americans increasingly see legal sports betting as a bad thing for society and sports. And it says right here, 34% of people in 2022 saying like, oh, that might be a bad thing, going up to 43%. 43%. You're not getting like these doubling in negative public sentiment because it's not a problem. It's a huge problem that everybody is seeing around them. But yeah, again, like, this is the part where you realize how dumb I am, because as a YouTube commentator, this isn't the part where I start laying out amazing and clear solutions for how to mitigate this and how to work with people and respect people's right to do what they want to do while also, protecting young people and this, that, the other. I actually don't know what the solution is here, which sucks. But it's rough. Sometimes I'm surprised some people don't think it's making it worse. I think some people may just be unaware, honestly. Someone said, a rise in gambling is a tell that our economy is so bad people have to resort to false hope to succeed. Yes, hold on. In Drew's video, he called it the C word, capitalism, right? It's like no one should feel the need to do this in a perfect world. I think that's the thing. It's not actually that I don't believe anybody should ever be allowed to do this. I think it sucks that this is like many people's seemingly way out of their financial troubles in their mind, even though the odds do not support that. Someone said the solution is education and organizing. Yes, very much so. Yeah. I don't want to sound, by the way, like there is no solution. One thing that I am not a fan of whatsoever is doomerism or, you know, defeatism and just being like, oh, guys, well, everything sucks. And that's the end of the video. I think this isn't going to be ameliorated under this administration. I think we can all agree on that. Right now, what with Trump Jr. being a big fan of all of us, this and gamifying reality and gambling, financializing everything, it's not going to be fixed immediately. But yeah, no, it just, God, it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. Someone said the solution is a better economy at the root. Yeah, no, exactly. The solution is nobody. Well, the solution is, you know, the end of capitalism. But in the interim, the solution is definitely just people not feeling the need to do this. I guess that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. Someone said, I'm too poor to play with my money like that. Yeah, no, you're not, none of us are Drake, thankfully. And I just find it to be so irresponsible. Anyways, do we have any thoughts before I wrap? Because we've been talking about this one for an hour and 12. I think I got all my main points out. Hold on, let's talk about what I said. So I've talked about how from the internet's going mainstream, people have suspected this would get bad. Talking about it on Reddit. Drew made a video about it a couple years ago. It was great, but then things got worse. News outlets have been covering this. You have celebrity bettors like Drake losing $1 million, normalizing this. Kendall Jenner at the Super Bowl, pretending like she got rich off of betting. Live streamers, people on Kick, you know, showing you this. The proliferation's inescapable. Seeing ads for this every 13 seconds. Crypto casinos popping off. Sports betting manifesting in different ways, like micro betting or virtual sports betting. It happens in video games with loot boxes and Gacha and people seeking help online. Now, we talked about prediction markets, Kalshi, Poly Market, how you have people like betting word by word on political speeches, trying to make money off of this in their attempt to financialize everything. Giannis and DeChambeau and KD and all these people in sports investing in prediction markets because it's a loophole for getting around these things. The political implications for market manipulation, like somebody somehow making $400,000 off the capture of Maduro. How would they have known that was going to happen? Or speculating on attacks against politicians and things like that. You have the current connection with politics. It's being backed and or advised by Trump Jr., which is an objective fact, and therefore does not seem like something where there's any incentive to protect people from a legislative standpoint. We talked about how people are seeking help online. They're calling hotlines. Younger people are being disproportionately affected by this. It's happening all over college campuses. It's happening with people who are technically too young to gamble any other way, but fit inside these prediction markets, and that people are essentially over it. That's what I've got. Do we have thoughts and opinions before I wrap? Because that was essentially my stance. that was pretty much my take. Someone said your breath control is great. Thank you. I talk a lot. I have gotten very good at the art of talking. Someone said, damn, D'Angelo, you covered a lot. I be trying. Listen, like, you're not getting no sort of like amazing hot takes, super duper research, but I do try to just cover it from multiple angles. Someone says so much of the advertising is super illegal. Oh, I didn't even get into that. Yeah. Reading chat. Someone said, I'd love for you to talk about the Saudi EA buyout at some point. I need to do more research into that. I remember learning about that and I was like, what? Someone said, I think you're fantastic. That's my opinion. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Someone said it's also weird and dystopian. Yes, we're in a weird spot I think maybe that's my ultimate conclusion for this video. This has all just gotten so strange. It's very, very odd. Someone said, I hate Kaushi. It targets my demographic. Yeah, no, it's terrible. All right. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, so D'Angelo, I need you to research about Looksmaxers. It's an insane community, especially Clav and his fans. Oh, you must not have been here for my clavicular crash out. I learned about clavicular live right here on my stream. It was so bad. It was so bad because I went into this thinking like, oh, some dude in the Looksmaxing community, real young dude, like this doesn't matter. This is a funny topic. Let's read this article on stream. And then I got to the part where it's like, oh yeah, he's injecting his underage girlfriend with peptides and also hanging out with like white nationalists and doing weird Nazi things. And I was like, I literally just came here for a funny haha time. I just thought Looksmaxing was kind of funny. It was so I got so pissed off. I was so angry learning about clavicular. I was like, why does everything turn into the worst version of itself? So bad, so bad. Someone said WTF peptide underage. Yeah, no, that was definitely in the article. Anyways, everybody, someone said, are we going to talk about how popular and normalized gambling is now? Oh, you kind of missed the past 1 hour and 17 minutes. I just finished doing it. Everybody say bye to YouTube. I'm not ending the stream. I'm not ending the stream. Everyone's going to start saying bye, but we still finish stream. I got more things to say, but I need to record this outro so I can turn this into a video and put it up for everybody to watch. Okay. But with that being said, I would say my usual outro is like, hopefully you never have to think about this ever again. But as you see, people are very actively trying to get us to fixate on this and never stop thinking about gambling. But hopefully you find some way out of that. I know I will definitely try not to. And yeah, I actually recorded this video live right here on YouTube where I stream quite frequently, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Unless I don't. In which case, I was probably just, I don't know, sleeping or something. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next video or the next stream. And if I don't, it doesn't actually matter at all. Okay, bye. All right. Stop recording. Yeah. We got this. Okay, we got this. That was a good topic. I liked that topic a little bit. Yeah, no, this prediction market stuff is just... It's not it, man. Someone said, may you be well and happy. Thank you. I feel a little better because everything is like kicking in now. It's subdued. It's muted. Actually, if any of y'all ever take like whatever to like help with sneezing and stuff, do you ever feel like you could feel the slight sneeze behind your nose? Does that make sense? That's where I'm at right now. I feel better, but it feels very temporary. And I feel like when this wears off, I'm going to go right back to like having every bit of liquid in my head just leak out through my nose. I feel that the dam is going to break, but I purposely timed this so that I would not be blowing my nose all stream. Someone said good topic, terrible future. That's how I feel about a lot of topics. The sinus pressure. Yeah, no, it's so bad. It's so bad, man. Someone said it's awful. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. There's a weird sneeze buzz behind my nose and it's pissing me off, but we're going to push through this because I'm excited to keep streaming. All right. Reading. Let's just chill. I mean, we can get into some other topics, but let's just yap a little bit. For me, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Very random time to be all of us here together in a live stream. I think I love the time that I stream because I feel like it's low-key random. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are also live right now on YouTube, but I feel like going live in an afternoon, for me, I know it's a different time for all of you. I've seen before some people are like, oh, this is the morning for me. And I love that this is a morning stream. I love my weird little stream time. It's so good. It's so good. Someone said, have you watched Inkmaster? You just opened Pandora's box. You actually opened Pandora's box. Someone said thoughts on Cat's Eyes Manon. I don't have too many thoughts about that. I saw she was on a hiatus But from what I understand, there's a lot more context there, maybe, or something. But I hope she's well. That's how I feel about Cat's Eye. I look at them. Where are they at? Cat's Eye, Cat's Eye, Cat's Eye. I look at the group. I see them and I'm like, oh, they're all so famous. They're all so young. I hope they're well. And that's how I feel about them, honestly. Okay. Inkmaster, man. So your stream starts right as I get off my 3 a.m. shift. See, that's perfect. It was a match made in heaven. Dude, let's talk about Inkmaster for a second. For those of you who don't know, Inkmaster is a television show. And it's about tattoo artists competing to give other people the best tattoos of all time. And at the end, one person survives a bunch of eliminations and they get crowned Inkmaster. It's the dumbest show ever. It's the dumbest show ever, maybe the least representative of how tattoos actually work. Literally, and I'm obsessed with it. I've watched so many episodes of Inkmaster. And I know that it's dumb. Because if there's one thing I'm gonna do, it's stay in some sort of I'm gonna be there in a chair getting like tattoos done. I know how tattoo shops work. It's not like it happens on Inkmaster at all. Such a stupid show. But here, I'll tell you how this worked. Inkmaster original judges. So it used to be these guys right here. Dave Navarro, who is hilarious. He's so funny on the show, unintentionally. Every time Dave Navarro comes out, I just laugh because he just has a specific aura about him that is hilarious. That's the best way I can describe it. Dave Navarro, Oliver, I don't want to mess up his last name. What was your name, brother? Inkmaster Oliver Peck. Okay, I was right about that. Oliver Peck and this third guy who left. So I started watching Inkmaster from the beginning and I was enjoying myself. And I was like, yeah, Inkmaster, watch season 1, watch season 2, watch season 3. And then I go to look up something about the current Inkmaster. And I was like, wait, that's so weird. They cut this guy, Oliver. They cut him out of all of their promotion. The Inkmaster on, I think it's Paramount's YouTube channel or whatever, was like posting old clips, but anytime they had an old clip, they would cut Oliver Peck out. And I was like, that's so weird. Why are they cutting Oliver out of all of this Inkmaster stuff? I had no idea what was going on. So I looked it up and I was like, oh brother, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that this is actually the reason. Inkmaster judge Oliver Peck under fire for blackface Halloween costume. It wasn't even just that. It was like a bunch of things, but actually that dude right here was just being hella racist. And they sort of realized that. He left the show or was dropped. I don't really remember the order of events. And then it kind of like lingered in production hell and then it came back without him. So I was very disappointed because I was gleefully consuming this. No idea. Actually, I thought he was kind of cool. And then, yeah, just kind of realizing that this was the case. And you know what? I got really burnt out because I was like, back me up if you hear and you know what I'm talking about. The tattoo industry is racist. Okay, listen, I put enough hours in that damn chair getting needles, just drilling ink under my skin to say it's a fact. this is actually a pretty bad industry for racism, because you get a lot of misinformation about people with darker skin tones. You get a lot of outright like horrific takes about darker people, black people, any people of color. You get horrific takes about cultural tattoos, people's actual cultures just being like appropriate and stuff like this. It is so bad how deeply racist the tattoo industry can be. So watching this show and thinking like, oh, this is fine, except for the part where they never actually ever wanted to tattoo anybody who had darker skin. It was so bad. Look, let me show you what this looks like. Okay. Inkmaster human canvases. Someone said fat phobic. Yes. Holy moly. The tattooing as an industry is crazy fat phobic. Okay, so essentially, oh wait, hold on. Tattoos are on skin. I just realized like you're going to get a lot of pictures of people's bodies and stuff, and I don't want those randomly popping up because YouTube is super weird about that. But what happens is like everybody comes out. I can't find a picture of it. Oh, I found it. Okay, look. Let me show you how the show works. You have your human canvases. This is a really blurry picture. And everybody comes out. Now, here, I'm going to turn the chat off really fast so you can see. You may be thinking to yourself, oh, that's cool. All these people are going to get free tattoos from potential Inkmasters. You may think to yourself like, oh, they're kind of unmelanated a little bit. They're a little pale. It's every single lineup of people that they would bring out was like 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, if not white people, very, very light people. And I kept waiting for there to be like, please bring out darker skin people. Such a huge proportion of people who get tattoos are darker skinned. This does not represent every single person who has ever wanted a tattoo. And what was really, really strange about the competition was like they would not consider the ability to tattoo on darker skin an actual requirement for being a good tattoo artist. You would get through the whole competition, never have to tattoo anybody darker, and get handed all of these, they call them canvases, which is just a stupid word for clients. And I was like, why did you totally leave people out of this? What people complain about a lot when it comes to this is a lot of people don't like tattooing on darker skin tones because they feel as though they have less room for using as many colors as they want to use, or they feel like it's more difficult because tattoos do not contrast as sharply as they do on paler skin. And so for someone said it's a skill issue, it is a skill issue. And so for the longest time, Inkmaster's solution to this was like, okay, great, just don't put out any dark people. Just don't put out any dark people. That way nobody gets stuck with somebody my skin tone. And I'm also like, I don't have super dark skin, but even me and darker, you're essentially so rare for you to find on Inkmaster. So that was pissing me off, and the Oliver Peck blackface controversy was pissing me off. So what I did is I took a break. I stopped watching the earlier seasons because I just didn't want to see Oliver, and I came back to the newer seasons of Inkmaster. So that would be like, for example, Inkmaster season 15 or whatever, I think. Yeah. I came back for season like 15, 16, 17. Still not a perfect show by any means, but you can feel them trying to fix some of these horrible issues that the show has had for such a long time. Still a stupid show. Still absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, no, God. And like the thing is, like, you never want to be, someone said that's a pathetic skill issue, they should have the skill to use values in their pieces. Yeah, literally. Like, the thing is, like, it's a fun show. And a lot of times when you try to point out issues with things, you get accused of essentially like yucking everybody's yum. It's like, oh, D'Angelo, everyone has fun watching Inkmaster. And you're here talking about racism. This is why we never, ever actually want to listen to people talking about things. My point isn't that like, oh, Inkmaster has these racist undertones, nobody should have fun. My point is I want everyone to have fun. That's all I actually want. The point of inclusion isn't to exclude the majority. I think people get so, not like my audience, I don't usually see pushback when I say, oh, we should be more inclusive. But you know that there's hella places I could have said everything I just said and everybody in the comments would be arguing with me. Oh, actually, D'Angelo, there are differences. Yes, I know that there's differences tattooing darker skin. I have darker skin. But no, people really push back against when you say, I would love to see more darker canvases on the lineup. They'll get mad at you and they'll say, stop ruining this for everybody. Stop being, weird and this, that, the other. Let people have fun. I just want everyone to have fun. I want to have fun. Anyways, that's all. Someone said, thank you for answering this, by the way. Inkmaster was my autistic hyperfixation years ago. Oliver Peck being racist was so disappointing when I found out too. It was so disappointing. Disappointing and kind of indicative of a larger issue. But all this to say, there are still really amazing people on that show. There's amazing episodes. People have gotten some amazing work out of it. And I love tattoo artists. I've never sat for somebody who was racist to me. It's actually quite a diverse thing. Because you know what really sucks? When you say like, oh, tattoo... the industry can be really racist. That is also not accounting for the fact that the industry is still really diverse. There are a lot of amazing people, or whether you're an ally or like this, that, the other, there are people who have created all these niche, diverse subcultures within tattooing, but they get talked over by people who have blackface controversies. But that's my thoughts on Inkmaster. I like the show. It's kind of silly as somebody who has a lot of tattoos, but I still watch it. I don't like some elements, but I have seen them try to fix it, and I appreciate that. That's all I've got. Some say we can't ever enjoy things. Yeah, no, it would be a lot nicer to like just enjoy things. I thought about that a lot with Wuthering Heights, because a lot of the pushback with Wuthering Heights was, just so y'all know, Wuthering Heights was my hyperfixation. I was reading everything everybody was saying about that. I was thinking about how a lot of the pushback was like, God, why can't it just be a fun movie? Why can't it just be a fun movie for women? A lot of the discourse was about like, obviously women are a target demographic for this romance movie. Why can't people just have fun? And I was thinking about that and I'm like, y'all don't understand. I want to have fun. I want Wuthering Heights to just be a movie. I don't think I'm not arguing that things should be more intellectual than they are. I think the thing is like, I just can't like separate the who I am, I guess. I don't know. It's really tricky. Like I don't think it's less fun just because I have criticisms for it. And I don't hate people who have fun with it. Does that make sense? I think that's why a lot of people liked my Wuthering Heights video too, because like I didn't come at it from the approach of like, screw everybody who enjoyed this. Middle fingers up. You ruin everything. I don't feel that way about things. I actually usually just want to have as much fun as everybody else is having. As much fun as everybody else is having. Also, like, chat, you have to work with me on this. You have to work with me on this. I saw a lot of criticism of like, y'all are being like misogynist to Emerald Fennell. First of all, a lot of people were. They definitely were. A lot of people were being misogynist to Emerald Fennell and Margot Robbie. I don't even want to sound like I'm downplaying that, but it kind of, for some people, turned into like, oh, you just hate women directors. And I was like, my first thought was like, well, I could start listing some people, but then I'm like, I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, you hate black people. I'm like, I have black friends. But I was really thinking like, I don't hate women directors. I just want this woman to make better movies. I'm sorry. I know that sounds horrific. That happens so many times when people are just like, oh, you just hate whatever group it is. And I'm like, do I? I know for sure that there is like internalized issues that I have to work through. Absolutely. So I don't even disagree that like societal disdain for certain groups of people may be affecting my opinion, but like, I also low-key just wanted the movie to be better. I would have been okay if anybody else had directed it. I don't think my issue specifically was with Emerald Fennell's take on this because she's a woman, or me thinking she's stupid or whatever. Definitely not how I was approaching it at all. But very interesting seeing what these conversations turn into. Someone said, I want better for us, D'Angelo. I'm just like, no, I don't no, but you know what? We can talk about female directors though a little bit. You know who I like? Greta Gerwig. I really liked Barbie. I did. Barbie was not like a perfect movie. Barbie signed with ASL. Hey, period. Accessibility. But I was like, yo, this movie is fire. Actually, I'm literally doing the Black Friends thing right now on stream. But listen, some of my favorite movies were directed by women. There's this movie. Have any of y'all seen Past Lives? When I tell you that this is such an interesting movie, it's dope, actually. I thought it was really interesting because it's unique. It's unique to me. Maybe you watch Past Lives and you're like, actually, Past Lives is so mid. I didn't think it was mid. I thought it was really dope. And I became a fan of Celine Song after this. And I was like, yeah, I'm finna follow Celine Song. I want to know what she directs next. And then she put out The Materialists. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. Listen. I don't think this was a horrible movie. That's not my opinion on The Materialist. I didn't watch it and think to myself like, oh, this sucks so bad. But like, this was such a weird one for me. I didn't know how there was something like missing about this movie. Does that make sense? And that's weird to say because Past Lives is very minimalist in its portrayal of like these different things. So when I watched this movie and I was like, yeah, this is also very minimalist, but instead I just felt like it was missing its core, kind of. Someone said, what's wrong with Materialist? Nothing's wrong with Materialist to me. But at the same time, I guess I just didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, no, a lot of people definitely, someone said we need more equal opportunity haters. That's what I was getting at. A lot of people do hate women directing things or doing anything and this, that, the other. But I'm more so just like, nah, I don't care who you are. You finna catch this smoke. It's hilarious too, because like, just by having, I don't feel like enough people talk about this. Just by having niche interests or what are considered to be niche interests, I have always been labeled either weird or like, honestly, gay. I wish more men would talk about this. I am interested in the things that people create regardless of their gender. Therefore, I consume a lot of things created by women or even for women. And ever since I was a kid, that will get you hit with the gay accusations. Now, I'm not gay. I am a queer person. I don't care if people think that I am gay. That's fine. It's more so just like, how come me listening to pop music is gay because women enjoy this? I cannot explain how common of an experience this is. And yes, a lot of queer people do love pop or this, that, the other, but it's like, I never understood that. I didn't consider it to have anything to do with my orientation. I was just like, I like movies. So if I want to watch a rom-com, then I'll do that. That's how I feel. I'm like, if I want to listen to, I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter, I don't really listen to Sabrina Carpenter, I'm going to put that on. This has nothing to do with who I am as a person. It's so weird. Someone said misogyny. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, it's not like a confusing thing at all, honestly. It's really not confusing. Someone said I did as well, and it was for mostly surface level crap, like saying the word adorable. No, that too. I have an example of that. A lot of times when women will call you cute, they'll apologize. They'll be like, "Oh, you're cute. Sorry." Or like, "Oh, you looked really pretty here. Sorry." I constantly I experience that a lot because I think what they're used to is being raged at by men who are like, "Don't ever call me cute. Don't say that I'm pretty. I am a man." I've never done that. I've always been just like, cute. Thank you. I felt cute when I did that. What is wrong with being cute? What is wrong with being adorable or pretty or beautiful or liking things because they're adorable or cute or beautiful? Like, I would hope that I was cute. You know what the alternative is to being cute? Uncute. Who wants to be uncute? So I'm just like, I have never been that guy who's just like, oh, I'm so offended that like you would say these things about me. These things don't like, they don't have any sort of bearing on my masculinity. Because that's the other thing. For as much as I don't believe in masculinity as a concept, sometimes I'm actually just like, it's much more masculine to just be the cutest man in the room. Actually, here's the thing. I don't believe that we should all be trying to be masculine or whatever. That's not something I aspire to. But let me tell you this right now. When I grow my hair out past my shoulders and put in butterfly clips and make sure my skin is popping and get that lighting right, and I sit on a video and I'm the cutest cute. I'm just hella cute. That was actually so masculine of me because I don't actually let any sort of masculinity I have be defined by anything that anybody thinks about me ever. I'm still a man, personally. So like, that being said, masculinity is still stupid. It's not something I'm aspiring to, but I'm just like, I don't know. If I go by y'all's weird definitions of masculinity or whatever, the game that you're playing, you are all losing it by being super worried about what other people think of you as a man. That's not very masculine. You should just be like, I can sit in front of a pink background and none of you could do anything ever. But nah, we'll never be free until we realize that these things are just not, they're not real. And even if they were real, we're still approaching it backwards. It's so stupid. Someone said that's how I feel about men crying. Yeah, just cry. I've cried on my live stream before, and I would do it again if I got emotional, because I'm not like, uh-oh, you know, this is bad. I'm just like, I cried, and what? I go back to being who I am. That's also why I can't deal with this like manosphere, like red pill, or like pickup artists, like dating. It's all one thing, looks maxing, because I'm just like, I don't need some man's opinion about how I should be a man. What? I don't need a tutorial. I would write a tutorial. Like, no, it's so stupid. It's so bad. Someone said, why the F do we have emotions? Crying is normal. Yeah, no, like, please more crying if you feel emotional. That's not gay, or I don't know, weird, or feminine, or this, that, the other. It's dumb. Someone said normalize crying but not crying selfies. Okay, no, I agree with that. For the most part, I agree with that. I think just a standalone crying selfie with no context, that's weird. That is a strange thing. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with this information? What am I supposed to do with this information? I never know how to feel about those things. Someone said the men in their 40s are concerning right now. I'm sure you're right. Everybody, all age ranges right now have our own version of lost the plot. I know men my age can be hella concerning. Super, super strange. Someone said I've never understood crying selfies. Yeah, no, because like, that's not the same thing as, oh, I just cried because I felt emotional. Crying and then being like, oh, photo op, and then no, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. Someone said it's the same as writing a Facebook post saying I'm so upset right now and never saying why. I agree. I think I just don't like. I got to be careful how to word this. Vague posting is fine, but because of who I am and the way my brain works, I get concerned. I get so concerned about my friends. Now, my friends don't really do this. This was more so when we were all younger. You change your profile picture to an empty, avatar, and you change your bio to like bi, not bi as in I'm bi, but like bi as in bi, and you like disappear and you post something weird on your stories concerning. I get concerned. I know people do this because they're just trying to vent and express themselves, but I'm just like, are you okay? I'm that person who, if you change your profile picture to something weird and you post something like concerning or venty, I'm gonna be in your DMs like, yo, are you good? Actually, do you want to talk about this? And I hate like being put in that position, but listen, everybody's got to do what they got to do. If you got to vent a little bit to feel better, I'm not saying you shouldn't have the right to do that. I'm just saying, please know that some people are actually deeply concerned about you. I can't shut off that, like, the catastrophizing part of my brain that's like, oh, something horrible is happening. Yeah, someone said sad song lyrics as captions. Dude, I was just like, what's happening? Can I help? Did I do it? That's where the illness comes into play. That's where the illness comes into play, because then I'm like, oh, rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria. I probably did something. It was probably my fault. I bet this person changed their profile picture because of something obscure I said or did to them. And then I'm out there reaching out like, oh, are you okay? And it is partially because I care. But then it's also just like, I have to make sure that I'm not the worst human being alive. It's so bad. It's actually so bad. Actually, how much do we talk about rejection sensitive dysphoria? Are we familiar with this? This is a ADHD thing. That is a real thing. I'm on clevelandclinic.org. This is a real thing. This is so bad. I just realized I've never talked about this on stream before. So here's a new neurodivergence topic for you all. Rejection sensitive dysphoria. It says right here, when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. Now a lot of you may be thinking to yourself, everybody experiences emotional pain if you fail or are rejected. Yes, this is true. Everybody experiences this. However, this is actually like a disordered version of this, where the mental fallout and backlash from experiencing or even thinking that you're experiencing rejection or failure, it just gets so hard to handle. Like, I don't know oftentimes how to sit with this. It's like you're emotionally dysregulated when this is happening. For me personally, it involves a lot of obsessive thinking. I definitely start obsessively thinking to myself, like, what did I do? How do I fix this? For me personally, it plays into depression, because the whole idea with depression is like, or my experience of depression essentially is that I'm a bad person. I don't know how to explain this any clearer to people who don't experience it, because listen, depression can manifest in different ways. I think, look, if I Google depression right now, just depression, sadly, you see all these people, look at this, oh, they look super sad, super depressed and stuff like this. This isn't actually what depression looks like for me. It's not actually like this being sad, wearing black, feeling kind of down. Depression for me is you are making the world worse. It's an objective fact. You're doing it. Nobody can prove otherwise. It doesn't matter how much people say that they love you, they're lying. It doesn't matter what good you did, it was a fluke. Also, I'm sorry if this is triggering. I just realized I'm very sorry. I just realized this might be insanely triggering for some of you. And I apologize. I really do. But this is how I experience depression, of literally just like that little voice in the back of your mind saying, sometimes I'm on all black right now. Okay, I do wear all black. I do wear all black. And I do listen to sad music, but that's not actually my main issue with depression. My main issue is more so just like, I know that things would be better if I wasn't here. No, I know. Or that's what it says. That's what my thought process always defaults to, just like, I know it. I can't prove it, but I know it. And that's where so many of the other, like, the ideation and things like that, they're a byproduct of me strongly suspecting that the best thing I could do was just not continue in my current capacity or state. And so when you start combining that with this rejection sensitive dysphoria garbage that I experience as somebody who has ADHD, it turns into this thing of like, oh, you're being rejected and you feel horrible about this. And this is proof. This is the proof that you were looking for. That's what RSD for me is. Any sort of rejection is literally the proof that I was looking for. That everybody would be better off without me. I knew it. And then you start feeling horrible. And for me, I get really obsessive and I just, it's not good. It's not great. And I don't sit around like talking to average people about that. When I say average people, I just mean like the people in my life randomly. I don't randomly start like dumping information on this. This is for like therapists, right? And people who can actually help me a little bit. But yeah, no, it's RSD is a thing. Ask your friends with ADHD if they experience this and let them tell you all about it. Someone said having rejection dysphoria is horrible. It made me crash out so often as a teen. Yeah, no, it's not good. Someone said the paranoia is real, man. The paranoia is crazy. It's crazy of just genuinely thinking to yourself. Because the thing is, for me, it turns everything into a timer. Even when you are enjoying yourself. I'm enjoying myself right now, and thankfully I've been managing all these things a lot better, so I don't feel like I'm on this timer. But there's a version of me that's like, oh, you're on a live stream right now on a timer. Wait till everybody sees you the way that you see yourself. Oh, that's my biggest fear. Not that I'm actually like, I have skeletons in the closet or things like that. I'm more so worried when I'm the most ill. I'm just like, oh, that nasty, awful void that you know that you are. One day you're going to mask wrong and everybody's going to see it. And that's when everybody's going to leave. It's really bad. And that is why you get ADHD and depression and anxiety and all these things being a comorbidity. Just people constantly having a lot of these things together, or them worsening or exacerbating. Earlier, somebody said they were talking about a different set of issues, saying they experience tics, and them not actually even knowing which of their potential disorders or whatever is causing the tic. Sometimes that's how it is when you do have ADHD or anxiety and depression, all these things. It's like, I don't even know what this is. Maybe this is the anxiety. Maybe this is just an RSD symptom. Maybe this it's wild, buddy. It's crazy. And that is why when your neurotypical friends who don't have this disorder do things like, oh, haha, I showed up 5 minutes late, ADHD. I'm just like, my eye could not possibly twitch any harder, because I'm just like, and that is why when people try to say like, oh, everybody has ADHD, everybody has a kind of a little bit ADHD, everybody's on like a spectrum a little bit. No, it's not true. Everybody doesn't have ADHD, and not everybody is on any sort of spectrum. Not everybody. It's just not true. Just because everybody can relate to various aspects of these things, like, you know, rejection and hurts. It's bad. It's not a good thing. So many people who say or make light of these things, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what ADHD is. It's fine. And it's fine that you don't know that. I'm so glad for you that you think it's like you showed up late or you forgot something. I'm actually quite jealous. I'm jealous if that's what you think ADHD is, but it's literally like a pattern of garbage that is interacting with other potential garbage all the time. And it's just like, someone said the same with PTSD. Yes, Lord, PTSD doesn't mean just like, because here's the other thing. What does PTSD actually mean, right? What does it stand for? Post-traumatic stress disorder, right? This is yet another thing where everybody experiences trauma. I genuinely believe that. Everybody experiences some form of trauma, whether that's a lowercase t trauma, capital T trauma. Everybody experiences this, and everybody gets stressed out by traumatic things. But that doesn't mean you have PTSD over something because you felt stressed after a trauma, right? It's the same thing with like ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You had a deficit in your attention, and that doesn't actually mean you have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It doesn't mean it. Someone says CPTSD and PTSD represent. Here, I'll explain what PTSD is like for me. And this is just me. This is just me. I never want to sound like an actual advocate because I'm only in this brain, right? For me, PTSD is like, I'm actually there, just there. I think the best way I can describe it, there's something that you can do called a system snapshot. Sorry, we're about to get real nerdy here. Real nerdy. You can create something called a system snapshot. And that is when you take an image of your computer as it actually is. All the files on your computer, all of your settings, you can save this. Oh, sorry, I just realized it was talking. All the files on your computer and all of your settings, you can save this as a snapshot. That way, if anything bad happens to you or your computer later, you can just load this system snapshot back up. That is low key what PTSD is for me. It's not just like, oh, I'm reminiscing a little bit about, you know, things that I've experienced that were bad. No. It's my brain is sometimes just like, yo, load that system snapshot for back when you were experiencing the worst thing that ever happened to you. And then I'm just like, I'm there. It doesn't matter what the date is. It doesn't matter what I was in the middle of doing. Now, thankfully, I personally do not like currently experience these flashbacks to the extent that I did at one point. But it was literally just like, oh, there. I'm there. And then someone said it feels like your body's there. Yeah, it's just, I am there. It's happening. Not again. It's just happening for the first time. That's what PTSD is. It's a system snapshot for me, my experience of it. I'm just like, oh my God, what was the point of trying to move forward and grow? This is the defeatism talking. We don't believe in defeatism here, but the defeatism was like, what was the point of trying to move and learn and grow? If like at the drop of a hat, you can just revert back to the horrible things happening to you. Now, of course, you absolutely can learn and grow, and there is hope for you. But yeah, that is why, again, people are like, oh, PTSD. I'm just like, maybe you're just a bit uncomfortable because something bad happened, which isn't the same thing. Someone said grounding is so difficult in those moments. Yeah, that's what I always have to do, is just like, I literally have to remind myself of just like, you're not there. And then it takes a second, and I feel like slowly I can feel all of my thoughts shifting back to the present moment of like, I'm not in danger. I'm not in danger. That's why I just think I'm not in danger. I'm not in danger. I'm not in danger. That's why I have to tell myself, you're not in danger right now. The way that you feel is understandable, but you're not in danger. And then I'm fine. And I've gotten much better at like mitigating that and just stuff like that. But yeah, when it happens to you and you're just like, what is happening? What's going on? This is horrible. Someone said deja vu is a difficult concept. It is. Because like, again, you can definitely experience portions of these even without it actually being disordered or dysregulated or dysfunctional. Someone said, reading chat. Someone said it puts so much fear into every interaction with people, like trying to predict when it's going to end and I'm going to be attacked. Yeah, no, it's not good. And then the thing is too, like for me personally, as like an internet figure or whatever, I'm good at separating it because I learned how to do that. It doesn't manifest in my work, but that's insane levels of privilege for me. I think what really sucks about these disorders and stuff like that is like they do manifest when people are working or like in their relationship or trying to like do good for themselves and stuff, and like you're experiencing these things and then you wind up getting marginalized and things like this. I'm not trying to get like super depressing, but I'm just saying there's a really big overlap between like unfortunately people who are unhoused experiencing homelessness and people who have untreated disorders or disabilities, things like this. There is a really big overlap because like when you are consistently getting disadvantaged by this thing and now all of a sudden your job is in jeopardy, now all of a sudden your relationships are in jeopardy, and then you wind up with nobody to help you. I have a lot of empathy for that because I am always thinking to myself, like, I'm truly just fortunate that I'm not there. I know that I'm privileged. It's like, it's not useful to, in my opinion, it's not useful to do like sliding scales of like, oh yeah, I'm more functional than these. No, I think somebody, the universe or something, every single day for my ability to manage what I can manage. And I manage and I try to look out for people around me who have less of an opportunity or an ability or whatever to manage. And I try to make sure I'm not disadvantaging them or contributing to that sort of harm. But yeah, no, there's just like, I don't know, like people don't care because they don't understand, I guess. And I know that it's hard to make people care about things that they don't understand about. I know that that's difficult, but it's just like tricky. anyways, reading chat. Someone said having BPD as a whole man. You have BPD as a man? Ooh. That's the thing too, is like when like you could have an eating disorder as a man too, right? I think like it's so tricky because then sometimes you're like, uh-oh, like disorder is upon me and you're trying to find help or whatever, but like the help is not there because people like heavily associate the thing that you're experiencing with people who are not like you because you're like underrepresented. I've experienced like different versions of that too. And then what's also someone said trauma doesn't gender discriminate. No, yeah, exactly. I agree. Someone said men go to therapy challenge, and I'm serious. Yeah, well, if men went to therapy challenge, you would essentially realize that like, and I'm sorry. If men went to therapy challenge, you would essentially realize like this is a disorder as well. I'm pulling this dude right here. I think of him a lot. He's like a fitness influencer, Sam Solik, you know, just known for being like the biggest guy ever. Yeah, this is me. He's like 24. I think he's been famous since he was like 21 or something. And I'm like, dude, dude, this is a disorder. This is a disorder. This is unhealthy for you. This is horrible for your body. And you're promoting it to all these people and getting hype for this, getting seen as a figure to aspire to. But because everybody wants to like gender everything so hard, instead you'd be like, oh, because this is also a masculine ideal. This is also, it happens to not only be a disorder, but a masculine ideal. All we're going to give you is appreciation and like, oh yeah, you're cool, dude. We like you. And this is a good thing that you're doing. Yeah, keep it up. Get, bigger. And I'm just like, but your heart, your heart and in your organs and all of these things trying to support you, and you're putting them under so much strain with like these substances and stuff because the image that you're trying to, it's a disorder. Someone said autism as a woman sucks. No one wants to diagnose you. That's the flip side of it as well. When you something like autism, which is so heavily associated with boys and men, and yes, men have this. This is the thing that men have, and you're trying to get help, and this, that, the other. Like, dude, and that is why I'm like. Someone said, I genuinely believe every person, man or woman, should be going to therapy at least bi-weekly. I wish it was easier for people. And I agree with you. I genuinely agree. Like, that's not a reality that everybody can do. But if you could do it, I really... God, someone said therapy could solve so much. ADHD, PTSD, male loneliness crisis. Like, dude, if you don't know how to communicate, go to therapy to learn. Yeah, no, for real. Someone said, I've been told as a woman... so much as a woman that I don't have ADHD. That is insane. That's insane. Because like, why would a disorder care? It doesn't even make sense. Yeah, things may affect more people in a certain group than other people, but what kind of disorder is just being like, oh, looking at your brain, like, oh, I'm picking up girl vibes. Okay, I'm not ADHD or autism. I'm just some other weird thing. That doesn't make any sense. We're human beings. We're people. Someone said the assessment is based off the male experience. Yeah, no, it's all so tricky. It's so tricky. Someone said, I've never seen a space that normalized all disorders. It's so nice to be here, y'all. I'm glad that y'all don't feel like villainized or demonized in this chat, because yes, I normalize all disorders. That is me. I'm not here like, oh, you have this one thing, you're a bad person. Please come join my chat with your cluster B personality disorder. We're not gonna jump you. We're not gonna jump you for having that. That's not right. Come join your chat with this, that, the other thing. Like, it's like, I think like safe spaces and virtue signaling and all of these dumb things or whatever. No, let's just acknowledge that everybody has their own things to deal with and not discredit them. That's it. People get so hung up on like safe space as a terminology. Everything should be a safe space. Now, also, I believe in people being able to create safe spaces for themselves as well, like isolated spaces. That's everybody's right to do. But like, I want this to be the bare minimum. I really, really think it would be great one day if you're like, oh, I have this or whatever. And as a bare minimum, I can expect not to be demonized on the internet. That's why I downplay a lot of times when people are like, oh yeah, we like this. I'm glad that this is working, but hopefully enough people doing this and seeing it works, it can just become like a normal thing. Yeah, no, it's a mess, dude. It's a mess. Reading chat. Someone said this for all who have ever felt unwelcome. Yeah, no, for real. Because it's also not that difficult. It's not that difficult to build spaces like these. All you have to do is educate yourself. That's the funniest thing. I've thus far managed to avoid like deeply pissing off, I don't know, like marginalized groups of people from my understanding. I don't think I've done that. Just mostly by trying to listen to what people say and not assuming you know everything before going into it. Reading chat. Someone says, shame this isn't normalized in general. Yeah, no, I'm just keep trucking along and until it is. That's the best way I can do it. And that's the thing too. For me personally, I'll sit right here on the live stream and I'll tell you, yeah, like I'm a feminist and I want to create a safe space for queer people and anybody actually. So that would include disabled people, this, that, the. I will admit these things when prompted, but for me, as somebody who doesn't experience every single thing that I try to represent, I don't love the idea of actually building your platform on this as like in my bio. And if you've ever wondered why in my bio you've never seen anything about like feminism or you know, like safe spaces, that the other, it's mostly because I would rather people get surprised. I would rather instead of like you trying to like find spaces like this, I would rather somebody click into the live stream and then be like, oh, what? This is fine. Because like the more normal it seems and the more spaces we can like sneak into, the better it's going to be for all of us. That's what I think personally. Nothing necessarily wrong with like branding yourself as these things super loudly, but just me being a man, I'm just like, male feminist? No, I could just be a feminist and a man and then just let people find this out, and it's a pleasant surprise as opposed to trying to like, oh, come join me. Someone said it can turn predatory real quick. Yeah, no, that's the thing though. That's the thing though. That's very much the thing. That I'm always just kind of like, because at the end of the day, I really do feel like if anybody is profiting off of something that is not directly affecting them, you should definitely be asking questions about like, why? It's not always out of the good of their heart. Someone said you seem real with it. I'm glad I seem real, and I'm trying to be. That's it. All I can do is try to seem real with it. But yeah, no, I think when you're super concerned with people seeing you as a feminist, maybe that's what it is. I just realized it. I don't have a problem with like the idea of like calling yourself a feminist as a man. I have big problems with people who really, really, really need all the women around them to know that you're a feminist, or you like, because that plays out really weirdly every single time. Almost every single time. And at the end of the day, when I do believe that like these aren't hot takes and these are ice cold takes, and equality for women and equality for all genders should someday be an ice cold take, I don't think you gotta put the label where it's really, 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 really tricky. Someone said, I'm so worn out of being sold to. Yeah, it's just tricky, man. It's tricky. Is tricky. But that being said, like, again, please find other people like me. If that's the best thing you can do. If you are a fan of the content or my approach to things, I'm not the only one like this. Just try to embody this yourself. But yeah, I don't want to be anybody's advocate or savior, or nobody has ever called me an advocate or a savior. But what I mean is just like, I suck. I'm just a dude. I'm literally just some freaking guy. And I think if your average dude tried not to be a horrible freaking guy, then you would get a lot less weirdos and we would be fine. We would be so much fine. No, hold on. I'm so sorry. We're gonna name names. Justin Baldoni, creep. I doubt I have Justin Baldoni stands here in this light. That doesn't mean I doubt that. It's this specific kind of thing that you it's so easy to be this. It's so easy to build your platform around supposedly like espousing these kinds of views and stuff, and I'm just like, why does this have to be about you specifically being the most progressive, accepting person? Why is it always like you you that's the thing that it's just like, why not we we are all accepting here, everybody in this live chat. This is so many people who have normal, insane opinions. It's not D'Angelo is the one who is a shining beacon of, because I don't want to do that. I don't have that much faith in myself. I would just, I hate it so bad, man. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me personally. It's someone said, thank you for mentioning him. He's so awful. Yeah, no, like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with safe spaces and feminists and stuff. I'm just like, give me 24 hours at a time. That's all I ask for. give me 24 hours at a time. Click into my new stream thinking to yourself, oh, he had a good track record. I bet he'll try to do it again today. And then see me try to do it again today. I will try. Every single day I'll try. But yeah, don't put me on no type of pedestal, because it doesn't end well. No, it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. Because the thing is, like, we're talking a lot about feminism, right? We're talking a lot about feminism. But, like, I feel the same way no matter what kind of marginalized identity we're talking about. And what I mean by that is, like, women are obviously marginalized in society. So I'm critical of people who are not women, who are really loudly like, yes, I'm here to save you. I feel the same way as a black person. Listen, we finna talk about race a little bit. Actually, let's just talk about white people. Let's just do it. I love me an ally. I love me an ally. As a black person, somebody who is like, I benefit from white privilege in the society, and I have power, and I want to use that to try not to disenfranchise other people. That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. I would never advocate against that, because we need allies. When I start noticing, like, oh, this seems like a whole lot of white people in a room talking about how, like, much they're doing for black people. Where were we in this equation? That's the main thing. When you get so lost in the sauce, the ally sauce, that your allyship becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you are now an ally, and you don't even need the people that you're in alliance with anymore. Black people? Oh no, we don't actually need them here to be allies. It's the things like that that I see happen a lot. It's the things like that I see happen a lot. Or it's the same thing where it's like, again, like feminism, like women, we're here for you, and this, that, the other. Feminism is for everybody, right? But then it's like, when it turns into, wait, this is just a bunch of dudes actually sitting around trying to out feminism each other. Who just got helped in this scenario? It's really weird. So I do worry about this, especially in online spaces. It's very odd. It's very odd, and it happens a lot. Same thing as well with, like, I'm in the LGBT community, and it's definitely the thing too, where it's just like, I'm so glad that we're all allies now. That's really dope, and I prefer this to the alternative. But where we at? Oh no. But yeah, no, it's a small gripe. It's a small gripe. Also, can I complain about something that is political? Chat, I saw this clip And I was trying to think about like I had a really strong opinion about it, and I was like, I don't it's political, okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. Trigger warning, like Democrats and Gavin Newsom and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to make this brief. I'm gonna really try to make this brief. But when you get headlines like wait, I could pull this from anywhere. I could really pull this from anywhere. When you're a dim, I'm gonna pull this from Fox News actually. Newsom pushes the Democratic Party to be more culturally normal if they want to win. I just sit here and I'm just like, I actually can't even explain how that feels. I can't even explain how that feels. And if you ever to yourself start thinking like, gosh, what is it with D'Angelo and like this anti-dim thing, whatever, he seems to be criticizing the people who are claiming to want to help him so much. No, because this literally this is so bad. This is so bad. Gavin Newsom told CNN's Dana Bash that Democrats will need to be more culturally normal on issues like transgender athletes. And he says, from a tactical perspective, from the prism of purely politics, there's no doubt that the Democratic Party needs to, dare I say, be more culturally normal, less prone to spending a disproportionate amount of time on pronouns, identity politics, more focused on tabletop issues, things that really matter. I think what is so shocking to me about that, what is so shocking to me about that is the vast majority of the times that, like, no, actually, almost every single time that pronouns or my identity is brought up, it's by somebody else. And by somebody else, I mean conservative people. I, as a leftist, I'm not part of the Democratic Party. I don't spend a disproportionate amount of time on pronouns and identity politics. I agree, spending a quote unquote disproportionate amount of time, yeah, that wouldn't make sense, but like, why have I been thrown on? Why is it always this? You know what I mean? This kind of thing is why, like, you cannot just wholesale accept people claiming that they want to represent you or this, that, the other. Like, and you know what I saw too? Some said we hate Gavin Newsom. You know what I saw too? I saw people saying, no, he's right though. He's right though. If we want to win, I'm like, who is we? Who is we? If we want to win, we got to stop getting lost in this pronoun sauce and start worrying about policy, healthcare. And I'm like, but the pronoun sauce that you're referring to that we got lost in is like other people hate criming us for being like trans. I'm so this style of messaging is so dangerous, and I'm sorry for randomly bringing that up, but I saw that and I was just like, there's no way that he said that. There's no way that this is apparently going to be some sort of, this is a ticket that we're going to do, like Democrats, yeah, we're going to really win by just being conservative. Someone said, dog, I don't want Gavin, bro. Yeah, no, it's a no for me. It's truly a no for me. Yeah, no, that really sucks. That really sucks. We need to be more culturally normal coming from the party that's allegedly supposed to not be the bad guys. Is just like, oh wow, we got set up, and everybody is actually just trying to scam all of us right now. But again, this is why you just have to pay attention to all of your elections and research yourself on all of your candidates, and not only, but yeah, no, I was at a loss for words. I was so sad, actually. I was so sad. I think that's the thing, is like I saw so much discourse about this, and I'm sorry for like literally Fox News as a source, but the thing is, like, when you say things like this, you are purposely pandering to Fox News, and you want to wind up here, and you want to wind up in this scenario. As a non-binary person, I got really sad, because I'm just like, wow, I agree that we need to focus on policy, even though the policy is in question. But anyways, I agree, but why did this actually have to turn into people who complain about pronouns, as if this is what people who have pronouns are doing? Why did this have to turn into that? It didn't, like, God, it's just so bad. It's really, 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 really bad. Someone said, "Ew, yeah, no, it's no." Someone said he went on a podcast with Ben Shapiro. I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it's just like, but then like, yeah, it's tricky. It's a complicated issue, and that's maybe as willing as I am to get into it today. But I'm just like, I'm not culturally abnormal. I just exist as a dude who happens to be in B as well as being a man. I don't even have. That's the thing about me. I don't even have pronouns different from the ones that I was assigned. When I was born, they were like he, him, and I still rock with those personally. But God, that was so bad. I was just like, we're not the pronoun party. We as leftists are not. We're not the pronoun people. I never had a meltdown because somebody told me they had different pronouns. It's always on the outside. Anyways, enough of that. And I'm sorry for bringing it up, but also, can you low-key see how like things like this weigh on me a lot? I'm just over here on the sidelines as a non-binary person, seeing like, oh, so both parties in the two-party system are saying that I'm culturally abnormal for existing. Oh no, we lost, chat. Excuse me. Someone said they call us snowflakes. Yeah, no, but again, no defeatism, no doomerism. We just keep looking and educating ourselves and trying to push things into the right boxes. Oh no. I got sad and I got scared. Because I'm just like, wow, these are. God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Anyways, it's just, I want to be, I see the watermelon emojis in chat. That's like Pro-Palestine, right? Just making sure. Watermelon emojis, Pro-Palestine. Because if so, I agree. Yes. Yeah, no, like that's another thing too, where I'm just like, you got people who are saying they want to respect you on one hand, and then they'll be anti-Palestine, they'll be pro-genocide actually, and then it's just like, oh no, we lost again, because like the buck doesn't stop with like me, I guess. It's so tricky. It's like the buck doesn't stop with me. I'm not just like, okay, well, I got to make sure that you have the right opinion on pronouns, and now that we do, we can just kiki. It's more so just like, and then when you start saying all of these things, you start seeing people say like, oh, well, stop trying to like manifest a perfect candidate and this things like that. And I'm just like, no, I actually just like fully just don't want to be supporting any of this. I just want people to live and be able to do so, as all of us. The answer is all of us, as many people as possible, which would be all of us. Yeah, so it's just like, I can't do this. Like, oh, you have a great take on, you allegedly have the right take on, let's say, abortion or this, that, the other, which would obviously be that people should have the right to have those, not be pro forced birth, right? But then like you're gonna have these other takes, other genocidal and stuff, and it's just like, okay, I don't know, like extricate me, save me. I just want to be like, oh, that person right there has the same takes as I do, and they don't include like horrible callousness towards people in other places or people like me. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, they want to represent us and have a chance, or seem poised to have a chance of doing so. But it's a no for me, dog. Reading chat. Someone said, what do you mean perfect? Why are people acting like being woke is some achievable level of morality? It's just basic respect. Exactly. I am not one of those people who agrees with the whole like, oh, you just want a perfect candidate. No, I just want somebody with like baseline sane takes on people's right to exist. That will actually put you pretty much in the right opinion camp of almost anything. Baseline sane take, people shouldn't be wiped out. You finna probably just align with me policy wise, or baseline take like you shouldn't be complicit in other people being wiped out. I'm probably going to agree, but that's not. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, I just want to throw those things out there so y'all know sometimes where am I coming from. I don't want people to join the chat and they hear me saying things that are like, oh yes, feminism and this, what else do I talk about? Like, you know, anti-racism. And then they're like, oh, he might be a Democrat. No, I'm not a Democrat. I don't identify as such. And it's mostly just because like, that's not good enough. And I'm sorry. I know people just like they'll people get so pissed. They get so pissed and angry and upset, and they just yell at you like, just take what you're being given. Take what you're being given. And I'm just like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I can't take what I'm being given. I can't do this anymore. This is insane. Oh my god. Someone said anarchy. Yeah, no, anarchy is dope, but don't get me started on anarchism. Look. I'll do this again. I mentioned this in another chat. Anarchism is just the erasure of hierarchy. It's not. Look. If I could educate even one person on this, one person. This is what people think anarchy is. Here, I'll show you. They're like, we're gonna live in Mad Max. Everyone's gonna steal things and blow things up. They're gonna do that. No, it's just the abolishment of hierarchy as an institution. But like, I don't identify, I guess, as an anarchist or much of anything really, but there's so much misinformation about things that get labeled like insane political positions, right? Like communism gets labeled like an insane political position. Wait, people in chat are saying that's not anarchy. Wait, are you agreeing with me or disagreeing? Hold on, I can't tell. I want to make sure I'm not spreading misinformation. And when you say that's not anarchy, you mean like Mad Max, right? The Mad Max stuff is not what actual anarchy is, right? Someone said, I'm an anarchist. I'm happy to hear you talking about this. Okay, yeah, I think I've got it right. Yeah, no, like you gotta educate yourself on some of these more quote unquote out there political positions, and then you'll start seeing like actually so many people have ideas for ways that we could be that are not horrible and are not horrible. Someone said it's hard for me to imagine it. I think it being hard for you to imagine is actually fine. Okay, yeah, no, you're saying Mad Max is an anarchy. I'm glad we're on the same page. No, it being hard for you to imagine the existence of successful anarchism is fine, but that's why we actually need it, though. That's why we need it. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine things like this because we're so enmeshed in capitalism, essentially. I just realized I've been talking so much about politics. And I just said I was going to bring up the one thing. And I know I do this a lot. in my streams. I really try not to do it too much. It's just mostly just because like I get trapped essentially by the topics themselves. It's the topics themselves. Hold on. I'm going to look at some of my recent topics and I want y'all to work with me, chat. If I happen to be like bothering anybody by this, I really want you to know what goes into my mindset with this. So my recent topic today, we talked about prediction markets, right? That has a political aspect to it. Personally, I believe that if I made a video about gambling and prediction markets and I did not include that the Trump administration is backing this, or Eric Trump Jr., not Eric Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr. is like on the board, advisory board for one of these prediction markets and also is like invested in the other one, and I don't mention that in the video, that to me is a sucky YouTube video. It sucks. That's my opinion. I think like you make a video like this and you don't acknowledge this because I don't know if you don't want to piss people off. I think that sucks as content. That's myself. I don't want to be watching videos where we're leaving out massive political context. Similarly, Jelly Roll. If I personally, that was my, the last thing I talked about was the BAFTAs thing, right? That was another pop culture moment where everybody was talking about this BAFTAs thing. And if I like tried to downplay the racism and the ableism of it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I see where people are mad, but I want to keep it lighthearted. That is such like, that's like half a video. And I don't want to upload half a video about the BAFTA slur situation. So I've been actually very adamantly including the political sides of things. Before that, we talked about this. And again, I feel like this level of grifting is very inherent to like MAGA/Maha stuff. So I bring that up. People were interested in that. We talk about Wuthering Heights, and that has this sort of like whitewashing angle to it. And again, if I leave that out, that to me is half a video. It's not really good content. And here, this was the last video that I uploaded that I actually don't think had anything to do with politics. Oh, someone said, oh, sorry, I said Baptist. I meant BAFTA. I misspoke. There was no well, there probably was a Baptist issue. No, I meant BAFTA, not Baptist. I think that this dude who faked the kidnapping of his dog, that was the last time I made a video that, to me personally, didn't have a political angle to it. It really didn't. But then you get 5 topics after that. Wuthering Heights, the GoFundMe situation, Jelly Roll, Michael B. Jordan, and prediction markets. All of these things are pop culture moments. These are what people are talking about. I'm not like trying to force this on my audience. I'm literally just meeting people where they're at. That's how I feel content wise. And that's always what I've done. I enjoy talking about things that people enjoy talking about. But like when you have 5 topics in a row that all have some varying level of connection to politics to them. And I also see that my audience and viewers now just get really wigged out when people leave out these political things. I've had to think about this a lot. I've had to think about it more than ever. And so that is some context for why during my streams, you'll often hear me stop and say like, oh, let's talk about like, let's not demonize, leftist political positions. And let's talk about like all these other things. It's mostly just because like, I'm literally there. I'm literally there. I think some people definitely are kind of really intent on like pushing politics on everything because they want you to be trapped in this sort of like thought process and stuff. I just want to meet people where they're at. And if we're excited to talk about the BAFTAs and, online gambling, the rise thereof, and this, that, the other, and this is genuinely where we are as commentary viewers, and I want to meet you there politically as well. That for me means I have to be a little bit informed, and I have to bring it up too. But yeah, no, some of you never stopped being based as hell, and I appreciate that about you, Dan. So we're trying to get more based. That was the thing too. It's like, here's the thing. You do have to learn and grow. I talk a lot about the Starbucks incident, because when I talk about the Starbucks incident, it's mostly to say that the people reacting to it were just being awful, because they were. Y'all all probably know this story. I made a video. I talked about not just Starbucks. Actually, I talked about so many different things. Starbucks was one of them, and I branded the video as mostly talking about Starbucks because I was like, that's the biggest brand. And I didn't mention any sort of like ongoing boycott against them that had to do with people showing solidarity with Palestine or anything like that. And then my whole comment section was just like, he's a Zionist, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. And whereas that wasn't true, I did stop and think to myself, like, it's obvious to me that I would not support the genocide of any people for any reason. To me, when people were saying like D'Angelo is probably a Zionist because of this thing, I was like, I'm so obviously not. to me. But I realized, like, if my choice is, and you got to make choices as a content creator. If my choices are usually keeping it lighthearted so that people are not constantly understanding what my political opinions are, or just being more straightforward about everything I think when it comes up so that there's no room for ambiguity, I don't believe lighthearted is the right choice anymore. I just don't. I saw how that worked out. It was bad. It didn't work. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this is still a bad reaction on y'all's part. But I was like, I can avoid this scenario going forward just by being more overtly political. We are all now more overtly political. Commentary is not a safe space from politics, if you will. I put safe space in quotes. That's not what it is. And that's fine, because I have no problem. That's the thing. I have no problem letting y'all know how I feel. It's been trans rights or human rights. It's been free Palestine, and absolutely do not support any form of violence against a people, especially not coming from a government or a military. It's been anti-US imperialism. Do you get where I'm saying? Like, it's definitely been these things, but I was like, nah, it's time to really, really be these things. It's time to really, really, really be these things. But yeah, I'm still in shock because this is all very new to me. It's very, very new to me, and I'm not used to it. I was so quiet and calm and chill and not purposely political for the majority of my career, but like, you can't be a coward, man. Don't be a coward. If your audience is demanding, if your audience is demanding something, then give it to them. That's how I feel. I could have either continued. I consider it to be cowardly. Like, I don't want to piss people off. I was like, no, my audience has gotten more woke. They got more woke. I was sitting there like, oh no, my audience has a zero tolerance policy for these things. You know what? So do I. Let's just all be more woke together. And now we've gotten so annoying to other people. That people click in and get pissed off at us. And they're like, oh my God, this sucks so bad. And we hate this. And I'm just like, that's okay. We evolved. So we got more woke. Yeah, no, like, definitely. I don't think anybody would have cared what my political anything would have been. That would have seemed really out of place in my older content, because that's not what people are coming here for. But yeah, no, people, they want to know, bro. So tell them. Don't freeze up. Your audience wants to know what you think about ICE. Okay, say it. Say they should be abolished. If that's what you think. And if that's not what you think, that's the thing. You can't be scared. You can't be scared of your audience. Let's say you asked me what my opinion was about ICE, and I didn't say abolish ICE because that's not what I thought. You a coward. You're scared of how people are going to react to you. Just say what you think. You're going to get a lot further by just being open and honest with your true political views, but trying to maintain an unoffended middle ground audience. You're pissed me off. It pisses me off nowadays. It really pisses me off. And it doesn't even work. It doesn't even work. Someone said, I kind of hate being a buzzkill, but whatever. No, like, that's the other thing though, chat. For as much as I've just sat here and complained and been like, sorry for randomly talking about politics, I still don't think I'm actually being annoying. I'm still not convinced. Look, I made my stream more leftist, and I made it queerer, and I made it more overtly like all of these things. I made it more like open to talking about disability, inclusion, and things like that. I'm more, but I don't actually think I've gotten more annoying by any means. Or I feel like I'm only annoying like the wrong kinds of people at this point. Because like if you're mad at me saying these things, then I don't know. I don't really know what you wanted per se. So don't ever let anybody make you feel like a buzzkill. I know I just said people are clicking in and getting mad at my fan base now, but I actually want you to know that those people are wrong. Those people are wrong. You click into a live stream where everybody is saying free Palestine stuff and you're annoyed because you're like, oh, they're being political and I'm just here on YouTube for a good time. We are not being buzzkills. We are actually just trying to have normal and good opinions. That's it. So yeah, I'm going to stop apologizing, honestly. I'm going to work on apologizing less for being a buzzkill because it's not buzzkill energy. It truly isn't. That's their problem. That's your problem. You have a problem. You clicked into my video, and actually, can I show y'all something, chat? Because this literally happened to me. I'm going to give you a real example. Character personality quiz. Okay, wait, I gotta pull up. I'm gonna pull up an example of what really happened to me in real life so you can understand what I've been trying to navigate. We were talking about personality quizzes, just me and my friends, my colleagues who also do YouTube. And one of them said, hey, there's this website where people show you like what your personality is for like known figures like YouTubers and fictional characters. There's this database where people put your personality in there. You guys have YouTube channels. You should go see what people are saying. So I did it. I was literally just like, oh, I want to see what people put under D'Angelo for personality quiz. It was like personality database.com, I guess. Not because I think that like these things are real or whatever. I was just like, oh, that's really fun. Like one friend sent that his fans thought that he was this thing. And one person said, oh, my fans thought they were this. So I go here and I'm like, oh, I want to see, what did they put for D'Angelo? What did they put for D'Angelo Wallace? And look at this filler text right here. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it back up. Oh, I made it go away. I'm gonna have to read it to you. I'm gonna have to read it to you out loud. D'Angelo Wallace. When you just look me up on this thing, the first thing that comes up is this comment, and it says, I really love YouTubers who talk down to me and acts like their opinions are gospel. This guy is ... And I was like, I'm literally just here trying to see what people said on a personality test. But of course, I don't go around like Googling myself. That's not the thing I do because I don't care about people disagreeing with me. I actually literally just got like flashbanged with this information of people on here saying, I really love YouTubers who talk down to me and act like their opinions are gospel. This guy is so cool and definitely not a self-righteous twat. 4 years ago. And I'm like, that was 4 years ago when I wasn't even as like anything as I am now. I actually think I was a lot less upfront about my opinions and things. Like, dude, it's just interesting, and this is often why sometimes I sound like I'm preaching to the choir. I'm constantly mitigating this having like hella upvotes or whatever, people just seeing me this way, and I'm just like, oh my god, that wasn't the point of my that wasn't the point. That's not why I was posting content. I Google Charlie. I Google Charlie on here. What's it say? Penguin Zero, Moist Critical. This is another YouTuber. It just says he's either ISFP or ISTP, right? I'm sure people here don't like him because he's popular and everybody deals with some level of this. But like most of these are not saying this kind of thing. You're not getting hella upvoted comments calling him self-righteous. And I'm just like, as much confidence as I have in myself, as much, some of the projections at play, no, I'm going to get to that in a second. As much confidence as I have in myself, these things are always threatening to do a number on me of just like, dude, you suck. People think you suck. I know that you have an audience of people who say that they like you. It's not that I actually need this constant feedback validation loop. That's not necessary for me to create content. I made content even before I was popular online because I wanted to. It's more so just like, you don't want to be a self-righteous loser. You don't want to be someone who seems like you think your opinions are gospel. Listen though, like Charlie gets this as well. This person's calling him a maniac. And so I want to be really clear of like, try being an influencer for a day. Every influencer is going to have people who don't like them and stuff. But I just think that the consistency of my criticism over the years just being like, he sucks because he thinks he's better than us. Now, granted, I may stop and wax poetic about my own beauty because I have eyes. On the one hand, I know that I tend to piss people off because they have nothing to say. You can't call me ugly. And you usually can't call me wrong. Sometimes I am wrong. But usually that's not it. So it's like whoever earlier said that people were projecting. I think that when people are not confident in their opinions, they get really, really offended by people who are. Similarly, I believe that when people don't actually have strong moral tendencies, which I believe every person should actually have, they get really pissed off at people who do draw the line and put their foot down and say, I do have values and beliefs. It's so common. It's insanely common to get labeled a virtue signaler for, I guess, telling people, yeah, I have an opinion. Or like you're on a moral high horse. The horse was that I had morality at all. That's the moral high horse that you think I'm on, is that I have morals and that you're offended. You're offended. I can't believe this. I actually can't believe that so much of my internet career, besides the actual valid criticism, which I will continue to get and operate, so much of it has just been people on the outside like, oh, I hate this guy. I hate this guy. He thinks he believes things really strongly and he seems confident in his own opinions. And I'm just like, shouldn't you be as well? Someone said, I'm not signaling virtues, bro. I have them. No, literally. I'm sorry. I asked somebody, what's your political opinions? And they're like, oh, I'm obviously like pro-choice. You know what I mean? I'm not forcing people to give birth. Not that. I believe Palestine, the people there should not be displaced or wiped out. I'm not pro-genocide. These things, that, the other. Like, oh, how do you feel about queer people? Oh, I support their rights. That they should have the same rights. People will genuinely think that like you're doing these things because you're. Actually, I don't even know what the end goal is. Someone said, what did I miss? Are you okay? Drink water. I need to drink hella water because I'm dehydrated from being a little bit sick still. What do I gain by having all these opinions that people hate so much? That's the thing I never understand. If I was actually to sit here and say, don't you dare clip this, I'm going to do a stupid accent. That way, no one thinks these are my real opinions. I'm going to do a terrible Southern accent. Well, them there LGBTQs are done mobilized into, you know, they're so annoying, and they're constantly having pronouns and identities, and I'm just not for it. When I was born, there was only 2 genders, and everybody was handed their gender at birth, and you didn't grow up to turn into a non-binary, semi-demi, this, that, the other. That is actually a form of signaling that will then gain you things in society. That's the stupidest thing about this. That is signaling, virtue signaling. You are trying to get people who believe or want to hate certain groups of people. You want to market yourself towards them, so you are purposely putting this stuff out. You are virtue signaling. You're virtue signaling. I saying actually no, like, what? Don't oppress people because of their gender expression, their gender, and respect people. I'm not virtue signaling. I'm not saying that because I know that there's an audience of people out there fueled by hate who are going to click into my video because I said I respect your pronouns. Your pronouns are they, them? Give them to me. Like, virtue signaling is very much a conservative thing. Someone said that's exactly how they talk. Yeah, no, it's definitely rooted in reality. As I said, unfortunately, I've heard a lot of conservative talk radio growing up, and it really does sound like, I won't keep doing the accent because I know that was wigging some of y'all out, but it really does sound like, oh, these people, their people coming in here trying to take our stuff. And I'm just like, you are a virtue signaler. You are on a high horse. I'm not virtue signaling because I think leave people alone and support their right to be happy. It pisses me off. Reading chat. Someone said basic empathy is very dangerous to the status quo. Well, that's the thing. Earlier, when you have people saying like, oh, I can't, it's difficult for me to imagine like a society without hierarchies and stuff like that. It's because we live in actually this society where you're very much like pro-capitalism and all these things. And actually just a little bit of empathy for people would start making some of these other systems make more sense. You know what I mean? No, it's wild. Also, you know what's really funny? Someone said their mom says, hey, I always say hey to people's moms. You know what's really funny? Capitalism defenders send me. Okay, there's this Reddit right here. I forget what it's called. Is it like capitalism versus socialism? Reddit. I wind up here way too much. I just, in me trying to Google things and just like learn more and this, that, the other, I so often find myself like, listen, we all have bad habits. Going on Reddit and seeing how people defend capitalism is a bad habit. But just seeing people say things like, this is probably ChatGPT, by the way, capitalism thrives on competition, and actually we're giving people more freedom and choice by being in a capitalist society, and like incentives matter. It's more economically efficient. You're creating wealth and reducing poverty. Poverty wouldn't exist without wealth. First of all, again, that's going to sound like, to some people, the coldest take of all time. Duh. We wouldn't have poverty if wealth as a concept wasn't actually a thing. But to these people, that would put me on what they believe is the socialism side of this debate, which that's not even motivating my opinion on that. But yeah, you have all of these things, and I'm just like, dude, if there's one thing I can't take, it's like a hella economically conservative, like capitalism defender. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's almost a heavily AI. Yeah, this is obviously AI, but this subreddit goes way back. It goes way back with the back and forth, and that's how I just slowly got pushed, like, so much further left. I was already a leftist, to be clear, but like just realizing, like, oh my god, every single argument sounds dumb. Oh no, every single argument in favor of this actually doesn't make any sense, and it sounds goofy. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, if you were going to defend capitalism, I think it would have made more sense at any point before today, even though obviously it still wasn't a great system at any point. But like now specifically, when you see so starkly the actual wealth gap and what billionaire class actually means and what billionaires actually get up to. Now, of all times, when it actually has finally broken through to the mainstream, you're still going to hold on to these beliefs. It's wild, man. It's wild. Some said they don't even remotely understand capitalism or socialism. No, definitely not. Definitely not. These days, the economy is just large companies trading back and forth. Yeah, no, it's, oh my God, it's a mess. It's hilarious. But yeah, no, honestly, the way I feel is like the political conversations will continue until they're no longer needed in this space. That's how I feel. Because I don't, the thing is, like, I don't get exhausted. Someone said, now you're going to tell me billionaires don't create jobs. I don't get exhausted discussing this with y'all. That's the thing, is like, parasocialism alert. Yes, I'm hyping up my audience, but like, I get so immediately tired hearing people talk about any of this elsewhere because it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. I think that's what I named my video yesterday. I'm tired, boss, because like, it's exhausting. And that is usually when I say I don't actually want to talk about politics right now. I'm exhausted. Being able to actually have a chat where I can say, oh, let's talk about anarchism a little bit, and you're not getting people like jumping down your throat in the comment section explaining to you, oh no, you know, this is bad and Mad Max. That's what tires me out. That's what tires me out. I'm not actually tired by political discussions. Those are good things to have. And if they were had in good faith, I would literally talk about them all day. All day, every single day. If political discussions were actually had in good faith, and it wasn't just a bunch of people who hate you, first of all, trying to use facts and logic to explain why their hate should be the law, I wouldn't even mind talking about these things because I don't think it's actually like depressing. I don't know. I don't get depressed talking about politics with people who are not being ridiculous. I don't know. It's like, also, I personally, Chad, I feel like there's a psyop. There's a psyop to get us. This is conspiracy theory territory. But listen, there's a psyop to get us constantly tired about politics so that we start being defeatist. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm being so for real right now. I'm being so for real. Look, I'm just going to Google politics. I just Google politics blanketly. Everything that just came up. This is Trump 2.0, bro. What do you bench? This is exhausting. This is exhausting. Live updates on what Trump is doing at the State of the Union. This is by design impossible to actually follow without burning yourself out unless you're thriving on the hate. If you're thriving on the hate, you're going to get really excited about everything that Trump is doing. And you're going to get really excited about these things. But actually, if you are trying to approach these things with empathy, you're going to get burned the heck out. And then when you're, someone said, and hopeless. Yes, when you get burned out and then your follow-up decisions are like, I'm like checking out completely. I feel like there's nothing we can do. You're essentially motivated by being somebody who doesn't thrive off of hate. You are so much more useful, tired, and broken down. And that is why it just seems like, why is there 5 new headlines every 1 minute? So that you specifically, with your empathy, start just feeling like, I have no idea how I'm even supposed to pay attention to this and still have hope for myself or the world. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. It's useful. And it's actually really good and beneficial for people when you start feeling hopeless. And that is mostly why it's like, we are a no doomerism chat. Now you can vent for sure about feeling hopeless, because I do still feel hopeless sometimes, but like, ain't never finna end the stream talking about like, oh yeah, it sucks and this is just bad and that's the end of it. I'm always going to be like, let's end it talking about continuing to educate ourselves and try to be better. But yeah, no, like, it's so bad, man. Someone said it's DDoS for feelings. Literally just like attacking you so much that like you burn out and you can't handle it. It's so bad. It's so bad. Tired people can't imagine and employ solutions. Yeah, it's very much that. But yeah, I love how you all have changed. I appreciate commentary turning into something that's a little more real. I think like we could go back to the example of the dude with the dog, right? Live.com. Trying to go back to my thumbnail so I can pull this up. Whenever I want to look at my thumbnails and stuff, I don't go to my channel anymore. You know why? Because I just realized the whole like interface of YouTube and stuff like that, it's just so depressing. I hate the YouTube homepage. I hate it. I just go to my own data. But listen, if all of my videos were like this, that would be fine. That would be fine. Because I actually still don't owe you content. That's the fun thing. I really, really, really appreciate everybody's support and stuff, but I do still totally have that boundary in my head of like, I don't owe anybody content. I really don't. It's your choice to support or my choice to put it out. So like theoretically, I could just make all my videos about topics like this. I could search for the weird fake dog nappings of the world and stick to those angles and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I know I don't owe anybody talking about these things, but isn't it just a little bit more real for me? I don't know. I want to feel like there was a point, man. That's it. That's where I'm at. I want to feel like if I can go on my channel and talk about something that actually doesn't matter because the dog was fine. I can also go there and talk about something that like does matter a little bit more. And so it's interesting. Someone said, thank you. Thank God my homepage is somewhat normal. I disabled my homepage. Mine is disabled as well. I disabled my homepage because I was actually genuinely over it. Someone says setting boundaries. I love that for you and us. Yeah, no, boundaries are great to have. They're really, really, really great to have. The way I see it personally, actually, my boundary is your boundary. I feel like I can upload whatever I want and actually say whatever I want, regardless of what anybody thinks I should or should not say. But I also think that means you have equal opportunity to unsubscribe. The way I view it is like, it's more so a mutual agreement that I have. I don't think like I have to continue to post good content or try in my videos to cover things or things. I don't think I like have to do that because I don't, but I more so feel like you also definitely do not have to be subscribed to me specifically. So let me try to earn that subscription a little bit, especially in today's creator economy where there are so many people posting content online. It's a new day. It's a new commentary channel. I'm just like, I'm gonna try to be a little bit good. I need to stand out a little bit. So yeah, no, day by day, 24 hours at a time, we continue building honestly a really cool place. We didn't get here where people describe my chat as a safe space by me declaring it unanimously. We got here by me having good moderation and making sure that I'm espousing views that would make people feel comfortable and stuff. So it's like one day at a time. You know what I mean? We'll just move closer and closer too. And that's how you be not hopeless. How do you be not hopeless? One day at a time. You move closer and closer to what is good. Even if that day actually seemed to bring you backwards. We got further away from what is good. That's okay. One day at a time, you just keep pushing it, you know? All right, what you got for 4 minutes? What you got for 4 minutes? Because I'm 4 minutes and I'm finna dip. I stayed here and I was sick. A lot of people have to work when they're sick. So I'm not saying feel sorry for me. A lot of y'all were at work sick. But I did it. I came here, we streamed, it was great. Someone said my homepage is nothing but Game Grumps compilations. I wish my homepage was just like low stakes content, honestly. Someone said this stream was tough. It was tough as hell. I love my streams. I'm one of the coolest streamers out. Here's the thing y'all don't realize. I mean, y'all realize because you're literally here. Like, I have really, really good stream viewership. I'm insanely lucky to have this many people in my live chat. But it's also like, I feel like I'm so underrated at the same time. Not underrated where I'm just like, oh, I deserve more, you know, this, that. I know that it's gonna come. Do you understand? It's going to fall into place. There's already thousands of people enjoying these things, but I'm just like, this is such an interesting space on the internet. This actually is a genuinely interesting space on the internet. And when more people realize what's going on here, that you can come here and not get jumped or sit on, you know, like walk on eggshells or like feel like I don't know. I'm waiting mostly. Somebody in the future, they gonna blow me up more. That's usually what happens. A lot of people have different content strategies. My content strategy is continuing to just be real one, and let other people blow me up. It happens. It works really, really, really well. I think a lot of people are really focused on like, I have to chase viral videos. No, just keep putting out good content that is what people actually want to watch, and just wait. One of these days, a situation will blow up and you'll make a video on it, and then you've got all these people. This is how I've mostly grown my audience. But you have a Shane Dawson situation blowing up, and I try to have a good take on that, and then you have all these people coming in. You have like this blowing up. I'm just like, I don't gotta worry about being super like brain rot or hyper clickbaity, because the world is just going to continue to spin, hopefully. And in doing so, everybody's going to wind up filtered here. Some of y'all are here. Somebody said organic reach. Exactly. Some of y'all are here because I made a video about Wuthering Heights. That's a few of you. That was new for some of you. Some of you are here because I made a video about Shane Dawson. Some of you are here because I made a video about Holly Brown. That's probably a very small percentage of anybody here. That's a very niche thing, and I wouldn't make that video today. That was so many years ago, and I was a small account, and I didn't know. It was a truly, truly different scenario at that point. Some of y'all are here because I was talking about, I don't know, like Jelly Roll or Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Mr. Beast. It's just like, I just sit still. And don't try to rage bait people. I don't try to actually turn my stream into clips of me constantly yelling at my viewers because I know it's going to go like viral or whatever. Or like, this is a very, very common way of running a live stream. Hold on. Somebody said I'm here for the art. Let me show you how this goes for a lot of people. I highlight this person saying, I'm here for the art. And then I start raging at them. And I'm like, what do you mean you're here for the art? I know what they mean, actually. I literally know what they mean. But I misinterpret it. And I'm like, you're saying you want me to go back to art content? Just go away. I'm banning you. Mods, ban this person. Like, maybe my stream will grow a little bit slower because I'm not constantly farming crazy Twitter moments. But like, I don't want anybody finding me from Twitter, actually. I would rather somebody followed their heart. Your heart led you to click into a video about your interest, which happened to be Wuthering Heights or Jelly Roll or something like that. And then you found some weird dude whose videos you agree with. It works a little bit better, and that's why I've lasted this long, man. Is a no for me, dog. Anyways, that's all I got. I'ma hop off. Thank y'all. I really enjoyed all of this, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna make sure I get some rest. That way I don't have weird, I don't even know if it's like, I don't know what's going on, man. So I'm gonna hop off of here and figure that out, get some rest, feel better for the next